on to me, baby. Ooh.
Yes, right.
Ooh.
Check it.
Turn down the lights. I'll give you all of my love tonight. Let's do what lovers do. Ooh, I'm ready for you. I don't wanna waste my time, so don't make me beg tonight, and don't hear me waiting for love. Won't you come over, love? Come over, love. Show you love, show you. Promise I've got enough to give you all that you need, baby. Won't you come over, love, so I can show you love? I promise I've got enough to give you all that you need, baby. So many sights to find, love that's as good as mine. I don't wanna waste your time, so bring it on to me, yeah. Bring it on to me, yeah.
Rosinha uli di sombrancelten meg e zu te saluda antes di niga Radzaudzan malak estrezas durante todo em memu a nogi distância como cupo palu zaniman malak guafi con una sughiairi preba tu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues atan fanni bandera kau esta pagua pumalapa gilo tanu man libri sentami ti man ko badi.
Chamoru Puritanota Kantai Matunonya Gitoru Iluga Paraiona Parai Gloria Abiba Isla Senpara Paraiona Parai Gloria
Morning, Guam. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Good morning, Joe, sir. Good morning. Hey. 621 Thursday, April 15th episode of The Link. Good morning to our Facebook Live viewers from all over the world. All over the world.
We are worldwide.
Yeah, we are this morning. Thank you.
Globally.
Rosie Roberto, first one in the KUAM News Link Live. Good morning, Rosie. Rosemarie LaGuardia. Good morning, team. Good morning. Chamarita Regis, the beautiful hillside of Sinahania checking in. Sin City in the house.
I know some people that say Sinahania's hillside. Other people say the beautiful cliffside of Sinahania.
Right, well, there's different sides. There's a cliffside and a hillside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cliffside.
And then
you
there's
get
the flat side.
beautiful view of
I got
the
you.
backside of
Right.
Agana Shopping Center. Look,
Chamarita Rages off today. Good morning, Chris, Sabrina, Jason, Joe, Sir, KUAM, Guam, the CNMI. Annie Bonds checking in from Killeen, Texas. What is that like?
Fort Hood.
Fort Hood.
Yeah, which is famously known as the military base where when we would have so many troops stationed in the Middle East, they would go back there for their debriefing before they would
Come back.
go back. Yeah,
Right on.
So, yeah, lots of Guamanians and lots of Chamorros in particular in Fort Hood.
Lori Blas off today. And good morning, Lori. Nestor Quintanilla, Jason's buddy here, says thank you for all you guys do for the support of Jada Marian's music career. Florida was nice. Missed the beach. Not like home, of course not. They got that flesh-eating bacteria in Florida.
Florida is like the world capital for weird crime. And I love Florida. I've got a lot of friends in Florida. But okay, and Nestor was messaging me, and he wants to know when Jada's song is going to be on Local Music Mashup. That is tonight. That's going to be on our YouTube channel. It's going to be on KUM TV8 at 6:30. But we're featuring a whole lot of talented musicians with connections to the region, and Jada is one of them.
Bennett Lujan Duenas. Good morning, Bennett. Angel Pete Quintanilla Castro. Good morning, Familia and KUAM News. Bananas y Duos. All of you have a good day. Ken Paulino. Good morning. How about this one, Jay? Joey Vanessa Boleto Guerrero. Good morning from the Arctic land.
Where's that?
I don't know.
Antarctica?
Are they in
Alaska?
Are they in the dairy aisle at Payless, maybe?
Yeah. or the frozen food section?
Right. Where are you at, Joey Vanessa Boleto Guerrero? In Arctic land. Deborah Arbus writes in Hafaday, Guam. Ruth Pablo Gagnon, good morning. Maria Paredo, good morning.
And I know the Gagnon family is pleased as punch.
Oh, they're pleased as punch.
That we're pronouncing their name correct, because I remember, like, in the beginning, it's like Ruth Gagnon. It's like, no, it's Gagnon. It's, it's of French descent. It's a beautiful name. I always like saying that on the air.
Deborah Arbus, Hafaday told us, Hamzu. Avatatamano, Hamzu, we're doing great. Gmar Tekenko, studio volume is low. We took care of that. I don't know, Gmar, check your volume.
Okay, I got some tech support for you. Joser and I were keeping an eye on that. If you guys are watching on a mobile device, and many people are, so basically there's three volume settings if you're using an iOS device or Android device, right? There's typically master volume, your ringer, and then your media volume. So you can either jack up the master volume or just go into your settings and then turn up the media volume. You'll be able to hear us crystal clear, because Joser stakes his reputation as a professional DJ on the fact that our audio is 5x5 right now.
Right.
So you guys just got to turn up your volume.
And I checked it, Gmar. I turned on my phone, and I've always got the stream playing on my phone. And
some of the new mobile operating systems, if you're turning it up, sometimes it's not you, it's the OS, but you're actually turning up your ringtone, which does nothing for like your music and your streaming sounds and everything.
Thank you. That's our tech guy, Jason.
Yeah.
John Lisvich Gomez, half a day from Roseville, California.
Yeah, Roseville. Nice.
Where's that, Jay?
I have no idea. John, is Roseville NoCal or SoCal? I know it's not Rosebud.
That was deep, Jay. That was meta. That was meta.
Yeah, of course. Anybody under 40 has no idea what I'm talking about.
Right.
Citizen Kane, you guys. It's perhaps the greatest American movie. Go check it out.
Manuel Jr. Finotnia, good morning, everyone. Half a day. How about our friend Rudy Rodolfo over at Burger King, where they are celebrating
Happy 32!
Yes, 32nd anniversary to the King, Burger King. Put on your BK crown and let's celebrate. That's it, guys. Whoppers, what do you say, Rudy? What's going on?
And I want to say special shout out to Rudy, because he's been a friend to especially those of us who went to school.
Dude, wait, you know what sounds so good right now? Whopper onion rings.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yep. I put my onion rings in the Whopper.
I do that too.
You do that too? Okay. You do that, Bree?
Sign of genius.
Huh?
Do you put your Burger King onion rings on the Whopper and you eat it at the same time?
No, they go separate.
Yeah.
You ever tried that with their
but
their
Rudy,
chicken tenders, Jay?
Yeah, Rudy, as long as he's been running a Burger King when they came back again in 1989 in Upper Tumon, they've always been so supportive of high school fundraisers, anything like that. He let us do car washes in the big parking lot back there. We did like a haunted house.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get to other matters, we have another surprise, guys. You issued the challenge yesterday, Chris, and you said, here on the link, we are going to do a breakfast burrito challenge. It is on.
I was just trying to get a breakfast burrito out of you guys.
Okay, well, sir, you got me on this? All right. So here you go. Check this out, Bree. So who else? Can you guys even guess who this is?
This is Mama Bear.
This is Mama
Guaranteed.
Bear. Right?
Yep.
Debbie Davis, Bardstown, Kentucky.
Good morning,
We love
Mama
you, Mama
Bear.
Bear. Okay, using high fiber tortillas,
Ah,
right? And-
gluten free.
yeah, high fiber. So, you might want to be like near a restroom facility.
Oh, okay.
And that is kind of like the almost finished product, but you
Oh.
can see. And that's not even cooked, and that looks good enough.
I
to
like
go
the
wrong.
tomato. Add a little bit of
Yeah.
freshness.
Okay, that's for you, Chris.
Oh, that's me.
That's the chorizos right there.
My favorite kind of paper plate.
Oh man. Okay, so there the paper plate. Yeah, so she's got shredded cheese, tomatoes, diced onions,
Ooh. Bell peppers.
and then there are, of course, the scrambled eggs, which I'm
Man,
still not totally on
Debbie,
board
I
with.
love your spoon. That's old school. That's like the flat end.
And there you
Oh,
go.
wow. Wow. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, and still she sent me a message and she goes, "Okay, guys, just so you know, it's pulled barbecue pork with sweet Carolina barbecue sauce on Texas toast
Wow. Wow.
as a side."
Oh,
As
the
a side.
Yeah, that's like two mains.
That is beautiful. Okay, so it's the link inspired breakfast. If you guys want to send us your breakfast burrito, DM us, send us your pictures and everything. We will feature here. Put your game face on, people. We want to see your best breakfast
Oh,
burrito.
you guys are done, dude.
Okay, because Malfunction's coming for you. No,
I am.
Okay,
But I
so
wish Bree was going to be here.
you can cook from anywhere. So far we've got Megan and Tim from Mong Mong sent us theirs yesterday, and now we've got Debbie from Kentucky
That's right.
sent us hers. So
So, guys, breakfast burrito challenge. This will be ongoing until we run out of burritos. Okay.
is there any way to? Their burritos have infinite combinations.
It's great because when everything mixes in there together,
Mm-hmm.
and then what I like to do is that's a little secret hack, is after I put the because you cook for burrito, it's like assembly line. You cook all the stuff, then you put it in. But if you cook all the stuff, then you put it in. When you go to eat it, it's not going to be so hot because the stuff's been sitting on the counter. So what I do is I fold it up, and then I slam it back in the frying pan with the flour tortilla, and I let it brown, and then I turn it, and I let it brown, and then I turn it, and then I put it on its top and brown the end. So it kind of seals everything in there, and it also warms up all the stuff inside. And then you get the melting cheese.
And you know what's funny is the fast food places just started doing that a couple of years ago, where they actually they brown like the edges so
Yep.
it doesn't. Yeah,
It's a little bit like burrito with what's the one, chimichanga, where they fry it?
the chimichanga. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not fried.
Deadpool would agree.
Right. There you go. So now we're hungry. It's 6:30.
Chimichangas. Oh man, my stomach's growling already, Chris.
I'm still craving hot dog, my friend.
Well, when you've got pulled pork and
Yeah. Yeah.
Carolina honey barbecue sauce,
You win.
oh my
You win
God.
today, Mama
Yeah.
Bear. Patricia Ann Atalik or Atalik, Mananasi Julius, Guahan, Vicky Castro, Hasangas, good morning. Mama Bear again, good morning on you. Annette Torres Castro, Buenas KUAMT, Mananasi Julius.
Okay, and Mama Bear, if you just want to throw your recipe, by all means, please feel free to do so in the comments so that everybody around the world, all of the Link fam, can make your breakfast burrito recipe at home. And Megan, we know you're watching too, so send us that Mong Mong special.
John Bucat, good morning. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, Joe, sir. Have a great day from beautiful Inalahan.
Thank you. With
Say
the
it
new
with
name.
your chest. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. And when I say chest, I'm saying capital C, capital H.
And again,
chest.
this means we have to re-record the song.
That's it.
Inalahan, making my home in
you. Oh, nice, Jay.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, Joey Vanessa.
never harmonized
Oh, hello.
together.
That's Betty Ann's brother. They're in Alaska. Yeah.
Oh, that's Joey. Yeah,
That's Joey.
former
Ooh, that's Joey.
Former KUM colleague of
Yeah.
ours. So he's in Alaska. Okay.
Yes.
The great frontier.
JM Anito, good morning from the home of the Sharks. Roland Javier, good morning.
Sanchez, stand up.
How about my friend Bev Tess, Jay Solis, Buenas from today's road, Chalanpago.
Where exactly is today's road? I've been wondering. about-
Chalanpago today.
No,
road.
but I mean, is it
Yeah.
like, okay, so you go down to like the bridge, right? Before you get.
No, she's just saying she stays in Chalanpago. Today's road, Chalan Road, Pago today. Today's road. It's a.
Oh wow, that totally went over my head. Because I'm curious, I'm
Air
curious.
traffic control, we're conducting a flyby over Jason Solis's head.
Seriously. Negative Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Landon Idlet checks into 5x5 on the rotary dial. We're getting Landon on today. He normally does work week weather, but a lot of people, everywhere I go, I was at the grocery store yesterday, people are like, Chris, what's going on with the storm? So we just want to bring him on and tell you guys what's going on with any weather systems that are out there that they are monitoring. Christina Holcook, all gone. Half a day. Good morning, everyone. Who else we got here? Yes, Tony Mantanonia, half a day, Bowback Brie. Yes, we do want some Benelis Munha, Tony. Hey, my friend Tony from down in Lawn. Tony, text me. Yeah, you guys want Benelis Munha?
I don't think I've ever tried that.
I don't know if I've ever tried it either, but it sounds good.
Okay,
I'll
guys,
eat anything.
Okay, for those who are asking what is up with like the weather, of course, Landon, he's the man. He's got the expert opinion. This is from windy.com, and this is a view right now, and this is why we love Bree and I have been using Windy now for like years. It's got this little feature on the bottom where you can actually play and you get the projected movement. Guam is here. There, I put the push pin on it, and you can see as the NWS and our friends at Civil Defense and Homeland Security were reporting last night, down near Yap and Koror, there is a weather formation forming, and I believe they said it's now a tropical depression, tropical storm.
I don't know, but I saw on Landon's Facebook, he was asking his Facebook friends, what does some word mean in Korean?
Yeah.
So that kind of got me thinking, are they anticipating having to name the next system? I don't know. We'll get them on 8:20 when we do our comprehensive in-depth newscast in the 8 o'clock hour. It's 6:33. Hey, our show
It
is...
has a name.
Huh?
It has a name.
It has a name. What is it?
Surigay?
It's Korean. Yeah.
And remember, I think they said they were considering
It's
adding...
the thing with the bean sprouts and the green onion in it.
Storms are always, and traditionally, they're typically...
It's not really.
They're typically referred to as feminine names.
Really?
No, really, it's not.
No, remember that? Like, when we were growing up, it was typically English/Caucasian female names. Super Typhoon Pamela,
Right.
Super Typhoon Karen, and then it became...
But then there was Yuri.
Yeah, everyone was like,
Wasn't
what
there
is
also Typhoon Kim? Was there a Kim?
There was a Kim. There was a... Well, no, I mean, there are
Roy?
male names.
Remember there was a Roy?
There was a banana storm named Jack because my best friend's name was Jack, and, like, it wound up...
And then you guys are like, oh, Jack, you're a banana storm.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we used to tease him.
Omar?
There's Omar. Yeah.
Omar
that's a
was
good point.
bad. Remember Omar, Bree? Were you here?
What year was it?
It was the year that
Omar
sucked.
was, I think, 97.
Whatever year it was, it sucked.
Then I came to visit.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a family.
Sorry,
trip.
we're cutting out probably like 20% of our audience by talking about this, but
Yeah.
the real ones know. Omar, Yuri, even Roy. I remember surfing Talafofo Bay during
Roy.
Typhoon Roy. Yeah, it was a big one.
And then we had those years when everyone's like, what's a Tepaan? What's a Pang Song Wa?
Yeah.
Paka.
And of course,
Paka.
the way
You
it's
know what a paka is.
and then the
right?
way
I
it's
know.
spelled.
Oh, that's one paka
Yeah,
that
paka.
come in Guam.
And then the way it's spelled, of course, Pang Song Wa is Pongsona, and everybody was like,
It's a flower, right?
Pangsona? Pangsona? And then it's like, no,
Pangsonia.
it's Pangsong.
Isn't it a flower or something?
Yeah, I think now they use like flora and fauna too.
No, it isn't Pong Song Waf. I don't know.
Well, and then a couple of years ago, I mean, it hit
wouldn't
our
describe
friends
it
in a
as a flower,
CMI.
that's
No,
for
but
sure.
what it means, I think it means.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But then a few years ago, the storm hit our friends
Pamela.
in the CNMI. Well, we had Typhoon Dolphin.
Yeah, Typhoon Pamela, Typhoon Dolphin.
And
You
then
guys, like,
YouTube.
one of my earliest childhood memories, and I want to, I got to ask my mom about this, because, you have memories, but you're not sure, was that a real memory or what? But my grandma used to live in Petey, and I remember, God, there was a storm, and I want to say it was Pamela, because Pamela was 76, and I would have been 2 years old. And I remember we all came out during the eye, and everyone was like, "Whoa, look, it's so calm."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna check my mom, but
then I remember that because everybody said at the time they're like, no, it's not over because it's got to.
Yeah, there's a
we're
whole-
in the
there's a
middle
whole
of it.
other
You got to
half.
go through it again.
Right, yeah.
There are two sides to the eye wall.
yeah, Omar was in '92. Yeah, I remember
Omar
that.
was in '92. Thank you. Who said that?
Chamarita Rages.
Chamarita, of course. Chamarita. Thank you.
There
Chamarita.
was one typhoon.
She's our
there-
fact checker.
I don't know which, but they used to come all the time. And then I think, I don't know.
That was the fall of '92 because that's right when I
Right,
graduated.
yeah.
We had so many things happen. That
We're
year.
just so lucky that we haven't had one. I mean, God,
Knock,
Lord,
knock, knock, knock.
please, that's be the last thing we need trying to get this economy started, right? It's a big storm, but it's like they used to come a lot, and then I don't know what happened and why we haven't got any, but I like it, But I also, my worst fear is that we get a major, major storm, and this whole generation that hasn't lived through a major storm is going to freak the hell out. I mean, they're going to freak the hell out.
Well, the last big storm we had, I remember I had Andrew Gale, the chief operating officer at GTA. We had him in, and I did a podcast with him, and I said, it's been so long since we've had a storm, but now mobile technology is a big thing, and it's so prescient in our lives. Social media is such a big thing, and you see people who are constantly posting about I'm okay. Can somebody come help me out? And more importantly, all of our family who have moved to the States, they hear about this thing. It's like, it's a condition of readiness 2, and everybody thinks, oh crap, this is like Typhoon Karen level 2, Pamela level 2, and everybody was like, dude, you guys better secure yourself. And everyone's like, well, people are at the park, they're at the beach, but yeah, it's. I
mean, there's some videos on YouTube of like Pong Sung-hwa and a few typhoons.
We were here for 3 straight days in Pong Sung-hwa.
You guys reach that point when you're in the storm and you get that desperate moment where you just like when the house is flooding and you're trying to keep the water out and it's just like not going to stop coming.
Usually here at work. So.
Yeah.
No, but here at work.
Yeah, no, here at work too. There was one, man, what was that one?
I think it was Pong Sung-hwa where this place was flooded.
It was flooded.
And actually, when our boss Joey
see out the glass doors.
I mean, before I worked in media, it would be like that at the house. Like,
okay.
Damn.
I
forget it. There's a point where you're like, you know what? God.
I respect Mother Nature, and
can't stop the tide.
I would never criticize the awesome raw power of Mother Nature, but I got to tell you guys, as long as I've been around and lived on Guam, 1993, it was a Sunday early evening, dusk, and me and my friends were just finishing up a volleyball tournament at UOG. All of a sudden, we heard everything shaking, and that's when the big earthquake hit. 8.1 on the Richter scale for 63 seconds. We all ran out of the field house, and the lights were just turning on. But we went over there, and at UOG, those big concrete power poles, I kid you not, literally moving like wet spaghetti. And I was standing there, and I'm thinking, I was like, physics is not supposed to allow for that. These are like 4-ton concrete poles, and they're swaying, they're losing their shape. And I was like, and then I saw the Inarahan Hawks, the late Blaine Fison, and he was a longtime coach at Notre Dame. He and a lot of the UOG players, they started going together and they were praying, and they're like, oh, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death? And I remember thinking in that moment, because I was just so shocked, and I was like, wow, man, I may never see my family again. It was a total trip.
Yeah. Were you here for that, Bree? No. Earthquake? Let me tell you my earthquake story, and then we'll get into news. So I used to work at Leo Palace, and man, this is a great job. It was, what year was it, Jay?
93.
I was making $7.25 an hour at Leo Palace.
That's working on the golf.
But dude, that was huge money back then. And they had this thing where it's like they would take out a couple $100 from bucks from your check, and then you would get a place at Kena Court. So they had bought Kena Court for their worker housing. So anyway, I was there, and they used to work with this white dude, Cash. His name was Cash. He's probably 6'7", 6'8". So he was in my apartment. We're just hanging out with a bunch of the dudes, and there was a guy who lived under me that they're always trying to mess with, and so he started jumping on he was like, hey, wake up down there, whatever. But then when he stopped jumping on the floor, he's a big guy. The apartment kept shaking, and I thought, oh my God, dude, you're going to break the apartment, bro. And then it was it kept shaking. We're like, oh, dude, earthquake. And we all ran out of the house. It was just funny.
Okay, well, one of our top fans, Rick Perez, goes, hey, Jace, I was watching 60 Minutes and eating dinner when the 8.1 earthquake hit. My pickup was bouncing like a tin can. Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of things. I know my sister was actually working at PIC. She was a junior clubmate at the time, and her job, because she wasn't old enough to do first aid and CPR, she had to clean the swim-through aquarium. So you clean it from the inside, with the squeegee and everything. She said that whole thing was shaking. Wow. It looked like you were shaking around like a cup of water.
Wow.
And everybody was freaking out. I mean, we were spared so immensely because, there was that parking garage in Tuman, where they were supposed to build I mean, you did that story with homeless use it as a shelter now.
You mean the illegal dumpster in Tuman?
Yeah, that got broken, and I believe there was only one fatality, and it was someone went into cardiac arrest because of that. But
they freaked out.
I mean, the fact that we only lost power for maybe 12 hours and were spared major damage and everything like that is amazing. Thank you, God.
Yeah, guys, say your prayers. Yeah. It's 6:41, Thursday, April 15th. Let's head over and do the news now, where Sabrina Salas-Mantanani is standing by. Good morning, Sabrina.
Often, everybody. KUAM has confirmed that former Speaker Joe T. San Augustine passed away early this morning. He served 10 years in the Guam legislature, beginning with his election as senator for the 14th Guam legislature. He would then serve as speaker of the 20th, 21st, and 22nd legislatures. The late senator is the father of sitting Senator Joe S. San Augustine. The Guam Police Department's follow-up investigation into the Jerry's Kitchen case has been completed and forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General. The AG's office confirms they are in receipt of the police report and will conduct their own review and, if necessary, any further investigation. It was back in February when a red Jeep with several passengers inside, including an off-duty police officer, slammed into the restaurant storefront. The driver was cited for imprudent driving. As reported, Chief of Police Steve Ignacio hinted that new information unfolded throughout the course of their follow-up investigation. The AG's office was unable to provide any findings detailed in that report. Attorney David Highsmith pled guilty to one count of assault as a misdemeanor. Highsmith entered a deferred plea agreement with the government, which threw out all other charges in the indictment to include the dismissal of assault as a third-degree felony, terrorizing, and official misconduct as misdemeanors. In 2019, Highsmith, who at the time was under the office of the Attorney General, allegedly pushed attorney Gary Gumatautau in the courthouse after a hearing. Gumatautau fell, was knocked unconscious, and transported to the hospital. According to the plea, Highsmith faced a one-year imprisonment with credit for time served, but all suspended. He was placed on a one-year probation period and must comply with conditions to include staying away from attorney Gumatautau and performing 50 hours of community service. Highsmith currently works under the Public Service Defender Corporation. A second batch of some 10,000 EIP-3 payments have been processed, totaling about $35 million. Payments were made by both paper check and electronic transfers. To date, a total of almost $89 million in EIP-3 payments have been processed. Most eligible taxpayers do not have to take any new action. DRT will use its available information to determine eligibility. For more information, check the DRT website at guamtax.com. You can also email your questions to guameip@revtax.guam.gov. Calling is not recommended due to the high volume. And with more news, here is Tyler Matinani.
Bon and half a day, everyone. I'm Tyler Matinani with your headlines here on The Link. The FDA and the CDC have recommended a ceasefire on the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the war against COVID. Here's more on what this means on the home front, as more than 200 island residents have already been given the shot.
Carrie Didasco and her husband Jason were one of the hundreds on island that decided to take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The couple received the shot Monday.
I already got it. I can't get it to get out of me. But I'm just not somebody that's going to dwell on it.
The FDA and CDC recommended the pause after 6 women between the ages of 18 and 48 developed blood clots after receiving the one-and-done dose. Their symptoms began 1 to 2 weeks ago after they got the shot. One died and another is in critical condition.
We are, of course, heeding this recommendation.
Public Health Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Felix Cabrera says the pause will allow time for more research and the collection of data. He doesn't expect the delay to last more than a few days.
We're seeing a correlation, but it's not necessarily a causation, as in the vaccine doesn't necessarily mean that it's caused the clot, but we're seeing the correlation. You need more data, you need better information to definitively say that, oh yeah, it's caused, there's a high likelihood that it's caused by it.
It was last month when Guam received its first shipment of the J&J vaccine. It was prioritized for use on the homeless, homebound, senior citizens, and inmates. DOC spokesperson Major Antone Uggin says their nurses on Tuesday were trained on how to give shots and were set to administer the J&J vaccine starting next week.
I did speak to our nurse this morning, and we're gonna stand by and wait for the public health guidance on how to proceed.
In terms of how this will affect Guam's path to half,
it is going to make it tougher.
Dr. Cabrera admits we might not reach the goal of 50% of the island's adult population being fully vaccinated to reopen travel next month.
We have to remember, safety number one. And is it the end of the world that we don't get 50% by May 1st? No.
A total of 246 island residents have already been inoculated with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, although all 50 states, including Guam, have temporarily suspended the use of J&J. Carrie isn't worried.
Personally, I'm not extremely concerned because it's such a low amount of people, but, knock on wood, it doesn't come knocking on my door.
Governor Leon Guerrero has issued a new executive order further easing restrictions of the public health emergency. Effective Friday, April 16 at 8 a.m., places of worship may increase occupancy to no more than 75%. Competitive contact athletics will be allowed at schools. Indoor dining for restaurants and bars will also be allowed to operate at 75% with no more than 8 persons at a table. Outdoor tables may seat up to 15 people. All of the activities are subject to the established public health guidelines. Guam remains in pandemic condition of readiness 3. A quirk in President Biden's new American Rescue Plan law means some companies on Guam can qualify for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, while another business right across the street may not. Senator Frank Blas is calling out what he believes is an unfair situation, but Congressman Michael Nicholas says it's simply what Congress wanted, and there's little else that can be done.
Senator Blas says companies have complained to him about not being able to qualify for the disaster assistance because the new law requires that their business be in a low-income zone. The zones are based on data from the 2010 census that Blas says in many cases makes no sense.
Please tell me that Hotel Row is low income. And please tell me that Babulo is high income.
Blas wrote to Congressman San Nicolas seeking an explanation and fix to the problem. San Nicolas was asked about it at his news conference on Tuesday.
This census application of the EIDL is across the country. The problem that he's trying to create and the implications that he's trying to make about our office not doing his job is very, very incorrect, because the exact same circumstances are found all across the country. So it was just the way that the package was created, but the implication from Senator Blas that somehow we were asleep at the wheel, I think just speaks to his ignorance.
I don't think there was ignorance in me asking the questions. I think the ignorance is in not being able to inform the community that this is how it has been passed by Congress, and heads up, because some of you aren't going to be getting it. To compare, the streets that we have on Guam to Florida and to California is, there is no comparison.
If we're going to change that, then we would need to expand the program legislatively, and that would need to expand across the country.
And at this point, San Nicolas suggests that making any changes or accommodations for Guam in the program is not likely to happen.
We were able to get it for a certain segment of the community, and that's a win.
To say that we should take this as a win, we should appreciate for what we got. Tell that to the mom and pop store. Tell that to Ugly Store in Barragata.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
In regional news, 9 CNMI firefighters have been fired for refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and they're prepared to bring on the heat on the CNMI government.
On February 18th, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands Governor Ralph Torres sent out a directive mandating all executive branch employees and activity heads to get vaccinated. This includes frontline agency employees at the Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services and Department of Public Safety. As a result, the DFEM's Commissioner Dennis Mingiola sent out termination notices on March 19th to 9 firefighters who refused the COVID-19 vaccine, including the agency's now former Public Information Officer, Derek Gersandi. The notice for proposed adverse action served as a 30-day advance written notice on the employee's termination. Former DFEM's employee Adam Safer shared his notice with KUAM, which states, quote, "This requirement to be vaccinated was the first step in ensuring that you, your coworkers, and the community you serve are protected against the deadly virus. Your failure to adhere to this directive is considered insubordination to issued government department policy." Both Gersandi, Safer, and other fired personnel respectfully declined an interview, as they plan to take legal actions against the local government. Although Gersandi, who has worked under the agency for the past 10 years, provided this statement. He says, quote, "We are not anti-vaxxers, nor are we anti-science. But we are extremely concerned about the fact that we are being mandated to take a vaccine that is not FDA approved, nor as effective as it was originally believed to be when it comes to stopping the spread of COVID," unquote. Gersani points out that within the local community, there have been at least 2 confirmed positive cases of COVID in which both individuals were fully vaccinated. While they may have been asymptomatic, he says this ultimately does not stop further transmission. Further, he states that he does not have any risk factors or comorbidities. As the CNMI government's directive stated that employees may provide an exemption request based on 2 criteria. 1, a medical exemption, or 2, a religious exemption. The 9 firefighters had yet to claim either exemption. Gersandi expresses how he feels penalized for not having any health problems and not choosing to use religion as an exemption excuse. The termination notice concludes with detailing the individual's rights in which they may respond against the adverse action within 20 calendar days. The former frontliners also have the right to appeal any final decisions on their employment with the Civil Service Commission. The termination notice was signed off by DFEM's Commissioner Dennis Mingiola, Office of Personnel Management Director Francis Torres-Sablan, and CNMI Attorney General Edward Manabusan.
You can read Gersana's statement in its entirety online on KUAM.com. That's the news for now. We'll see you all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
Edward Manabusan.
You can read Gersana's statement in its entirety online on KUAM.com. That's the news for now. We'll see you all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
Speaker Teresa Law's office says it has not received an official ethics complaint against Senator Tello Taitagui. A widely circulated complaint alleging several issues made the rounds via email, but according to legislative rules, a complaint is only valid when submitted in writing and on the proper forms. Meanwhile, the Speaker also shared that the Legislative Ethics Committee's membership is rotated on a quarterly basis. The current members are Vice Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes and Senators Talina Nelson, Sabina Perez, Clint Rigel, and minority members Senator Chris Duenas and Frank Blas Jr. The committee will meet on April 23rd to select a chair. As for the latest numbers, the Joint Information Center reports that out of 574 samples taken on the 13th, 4 tested positive for COVID. Of the new cases, 2 were identified through contact tracing. This brings the total of officially reported cases of COVID to 7,851 since March last year. 37 cases are active. There have been more than 7,600 recoveries. There are currently 3 people hospitalized. To date, there have been a total of 136 COVID-related deaths. The CAR score remains at 0.2. As for vaccination numbers, a total of 40,358 people have been fully immunized. And that's your news. Stay tuned for more on The Link after the break.
Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink, brought to you each week by Cure Alkaline Water, airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM, on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the field, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
Family platter of fried chicken?
Check.
Tray of red rice?
Check.
Birthday cake?
Check.
1 case of water?
Check.
12-pack of beer?
Check.
2 cases of Pepsi?
Check. When you have a long checklist but are short on time, we got you. Get it delivered by us. Order on the app or website at uno-go.com. Guam on demand.
Shoot, I forgot the paper product.
Oh wait, UnoGo has that too.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link. Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentations, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, and Bud Light Seltzer, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof, Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC. Join the Foundation for Public Education as they recognize some amazing teachers in our community and award one deserving person the title of Teacher of the Year. Watch the broadcast or live stream on the KUAM News Facebook page on Sunday, April 25th at 6:30 p.m. to meet the 6 finalists and learn about their exceptional work as educators. Plus special messages from Superintendent John Fernandez, sponsors, and the current Teacher of the Year, culminating in the live announcement of the 2021 Teacher of the Year. It's a special event you don't want to miss. The 2021 Teacher of the Year is presented by Bank of Guam, Cars Plus Guam, and the KUAM Care Force.
All right, good stuff there from Rick Hernandez, the Youthful Elders. Don't forget your roots right here on the link, which is proudly brought to you by East West Rental Carrier. 647 Cool for all my Aircon babies. Cabo Enterprises, IT&E, and Jack in the Box.
Is that the Rick Hernandez who used to play? He played football for JFK, and then he was at Midpack for a while. He was like in there, in the warehouse. Yeah, long hair
with a
super,
beard.
Yeah,
Oh, wait. Yeah.
really, really nice guy. I know he moved to the States, I believe.
Yeah. It's Maria's brother.
Oh, okay. Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah, he is Maria's brother. Yeah, hope so. Yeah, he is now. That's it.
Maria Hernandez from Puerto Rico, Texas.
From PLSR. Yep.
Yeah.
Pulitzer. It's 7:03, and the show is brought to you also by Jack in the Box, where you can get the triple bonus Jack. Jay? Triple bonus Jack approved?
Triple bonus.
Right.
Not one.
Not two.
Not two.
3.
Triple bonus.
Yes, it's a returning favorite, Jack's Triple Bonus Jack Combo. Everything you need to indulge, add a patty, and make it a quad for just $1 more. All right, 7:03.
And you're going to sleep good.
Yeah. You're going to sleep good.
No, you're the one who's been saying, oh, we need to do these monster breakfast burritos, and you were saying we need to have like beef shank soup in the morning, which, by the way, thank you to Kings for hooking us up like last week.
Dude, that was so good.
We're going to be crashed out by 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest, full disclosure. Part of my mission here is to get free food, which we do.
I got to appreciate the man's honesty.
We got Fridays covered with Feed Me Fridays and Kings. And then, Wednesdays, the Burger King, sometimes they bring by the Whoppers. Thursdays, we've been getting the GCC Culinary Academy. So all we need is something from Monday, Tuesday, guys.
And it is a Thursday today.
It is. So they're coming in to talk about the meal you can get today, which is Thai.
Thailand.
I love Thai food.
Oh, what's your best Thai dish?
Oh, God.
Sabrina actually got me into Thai food. I was not into Thai food for a while, but Bree really opened my eyes and my stomach.
My favorite Thai dish is called Pad Kapow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Pad Kapow as opposed to Paul Tapao.
Yeah, not Paul Tapao.
Yeah.
They take like the meat and they do like a tanaktak of it, and then it's just really simple. It's stir fried with, I think, garlic and like a whole bunch of Thai basil. And they use like a light soy sauce, garlic, and then maybe green onions. But then they put a whole bunch of hot pepper. It kind of really reminds me of like karam pika a little, without the coconut milk, stafao pika. And then you could get it Thai style with the egg on top. Man.
Well, my thing is if you get like a really good Penang, like you get like a really good red curry.
Yeah.
And it's spicy, and then you use the sticky rice, but then you put mint on top of it.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it's such a juxtaposition of, you get I mean, because you can go, and it's funny, all the Thai restaurants here, they go, oh, would you like mild or hot? And hot is like nuclear hot.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, Thai hot. But I'm Chamorro. Thai hot is like not that hot, really. It's hot. It's hot. It's not Chamorro hot. It's not pika. What's your favorite Thai dish? Penang. You know what, Jay? I like Penang, but I just wish there was more stuff in it. Because when you order the chicken Penang, I mean, and it's like all the Thai restaurants in Guam, they're, except for Bantai, they do a lot of the same recipe where it's like you get the Penang and it's like 10 pieces of chicken thigh and sauce, and that's it. How about you, Bree?
Papaya salad is very good.
Yeah, I like papaya salad. Yeah. Penang also.
Penang. Pad Thai?
Yeah.
Well, and a former KUM reporter of ours, remember Janjira Hale?
Yeah.
Who's now shout out to Janjira. She's now a lawyer and she's practicing in Hawaii, and she and her wonderful husband are doing very, very well there. She's very successful, but she is half Thai, and her mom, and we've known Jen ever since she was at St. John. She was a former teen reporter of ours with The Beat. It was this another successful promotion that we had. Her mom would make these big platters. I mean, the tin ones of pad thai. And she goes, just bring this to your coworkers. I mean, enough to feed 20. Which at KUM means 3 people ate very, very well.
Right. 7:06. So here's what's coming up on the show this morning. We're getting the Republican Party chair, Juan Carlos Benitez, as there's just been like a whole bunch of WTF going on with the GOP this week. There was an ethics complaint that turned out to not be legit that was filed against Senator Talatidegui, and then there was a release that came out from the Republicans that said, oh, the evil Democrats are behind the ethics complaint. And then that release was rescinded. And then they came out with another release yesterday. Did you see that one, Bree?
Yeah.
And so we'll go ahead and read that out before Juan Carlos comes on here. Also, we're getting Landon Idlet about that weather system that Jay was talking about earlier. Hospital Administrator Lillian Posadas, there's a bill that would create a multi-health center, I believe. And so we'll ask Lillian about that and just get an update. The hospital, there was a slight bump up in the number of COVID-19 positives and hospitalizations, so we'll talk with her about that. And then Jay's got a great interview for you guys this morning. You're going to love this. The Hispanic Heritage Association of Guam.
Yes.
They're and so it's interesting, Jay, because the president, Dime Ree, is actually he's active duty Air Force, so he's working today, but the Anderson PA, the Public Affairs Office, they went ahead and approved him for the video interview, so he's going to be zooming in from the base.
Very nice.
And they're talking all about, so they're trying to do like outreach and establish them. Well, they already are an organization on Guam, but they're doing this thing with the Spanish Mass since a lot of their members are Catholic. And so Jay will have a great interview, find out. I mean, my end goal here is let's get some Hispanic food out of it.
Well,
Jay, by the end of that interview, I want you to have them committed to dropping off, like, you know, those platters you're talking about from Janjira, but with like Hispanic food. Right, sir? In an outreach, an Afamaulik.
And you know, there are several groups up at Anderson like that. We've had the great pleasure of interviewing in February, you know, which is Black History Month. We have interviewed people that have been running the, you know, like the African American heritage group up there. I forget the.
I think it's like the Black Network or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Guam Black Network. Or
wonderful, wonderful people doing great things. You know, people from all different walks of life and backgrounds. And of course, they want to network, you know, with people who share their heritage, and they also want to network with the local community and just say, you know, we believe in sharing our culture. We would like to learn about Guam history, about Chamorro culture, about Filipino culture, and we would like to, you know, have this big positive exchange.
Right on. We're also getting GCC Culinary in just a few minutes here with Chef Paul from the GCC Culinary family. They're doing their buffets. Which is something that they weren't able to do because there was a pandemic, and now we're in PCOR 3. I think the only people who still think we're in the surge is the Department of Corrections. As you saw from an interview we did yesterday with Major Anton Uggan, anticipating, are they going to change that policy? So since, I guess, the height of the surge, I mean, even the first one, they haven't been confining violent offenders. And so we had Major Anton on from DOC yesterday, and there was just a bunch of cops who had made a bunch of like auto theft, like felony charges, and they're collaring these guys, cuffing them, and then they're just getting booked and released because the AG and the DOC are still living in last year, basically. So these guys, they rob stuff, they steal your car, the cops track them down, they arrest them, and then the DOC and the AG just set them free again. So it sucks. It does. It sucks. But Major Anton Uggan said that the director, Mr. Joseph Carbolito, who is also a GPD captain, is looking at whether or not that policy should be rescinded. It should be rescinded the same way that Republican press release was rescinded. Hey, on that note, let's take a break and come back with more of The Link next. Good morning.
KUAM's multi-platform Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
This year, the Think Green Annual Cleanup goes virtual. Organize your community cleanup, post and tag with hashtag ThinkGreenGuam on social media. And we'll share your cleanup in our multimedia platforms and in a special montage on KUAM News Weekend Edition during the last weekend in April. Sustainability matters, part of the KUAM Care Force's commitment to our community. In partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI. Special thanks to Micronesian Brokers, Inc.
Through the month of April, KUM News and the KUAM Care Force features Sustainability Matters, building awareness for environmental issues, highlighting activists, and showcasing businesses and individuals making a difference in our community. Watch a special series on Mondays on KUM News featuring different aspects of thinking green in our community. Awareness messages on every platform giving you tips for leading a more sustainable lifestyle. The Dirty Politics Weekly feature with The Link live on location with Chris and Sabrina visiting different villages with political leaders and addressing environmental problems in our community. And this year, the Think Green annual cleanup goes virtual. Organize your community cleanup, post and tag with hashtag ThinkGreenGuam, and we'll feature your cleanup on our multimedia platforms and in a special montage on KUM News Weekend Edition during the last weekend in April. Sustainability Matters, part of the KUAM Care Force's commitment to our community. In partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
Join the Foundation for Public Education as they recognize some amazing teachers in our community and award one deserving person the title of Teacher of the Year. Watch the broadcast or live stream on the KUAM News Facebook page on Sunday, April 25th at 6:30 p.m. to meet the 6 finalists and learn about their exceptional work as educators. Plus special messages from Superintendent John Fernandez, sponsors, and the current Teacher of the Year, culminating in the live announcement of the 2021 Teacher of the Year. It's a special event you don't want to miss. The 2021 Teacher of the Year is presented by Bank of Guam, Cars Plus Guam, and the KUAM Care Force. The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
Mama rock me.
Headed down south to the land of the pine, thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring down the road and praying to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers. I'm hoping for Raleigh I could see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
Joe Guam did a great job playing at the Easter brunch over at the Hyatt. It was definitely interesting to be there at Easter brunch listening to Joe Guam. Like the good old days, but with masks and social distancing. And so it's not like the good old days, but...
Hey, these days we'll take what we can get, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
A blessing is a blessing.
You got that right, Jay. It's Wagon Wheel. It's actually an old Bob Dylan song. I think. Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
One thing about Bob Dylan, he's not the greatest singer, so it's like when people remake his songs, you're like, yeah, good job.
Wow, you dared go there.
No, I'm just saying.
The man won a Nobel Prize for poetry, my friend.
Jason, I am the biggest Bob Dylan fan. Trust me. Ask anyone.
Okay, but I will agree with you that he kind of took We Are the World in a different direction, because you had, Michael Jackson, you had Lionel Richie, all these wonderful, Huey Lewis, Cyndi Lauper, and then Bob Dylan comes on and, in the world will be a better place for you and me.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Yeah.
Hey.
I guess the only guy in the Zoom room who got that was Chef Paul.
For him to be included with all those, pop stars and celebrities just on his own terms is in itself a great statement on how big of a star he was.
And his son, Jacob, when he was with the Wallflowers in the 90s,
One headlight.
magnet.
Yeah. Okay, 7:19. Jay, go ahead. Let's head into the Zoom room here where we have our good friends, our best Thursday friends ever from the GCC Culinary Academy, Chef Paul and the gang, Jason Solis.
Yes, so our friends over at the Guam Community College's Culinary Academy have their chef hats on, and Chris has got his gastrointestinal equipment ready to go, because we are visiting the country of Thailand, a nation that has many, many, many flavors and spices and just so much rich...
Indonesia.
Oh, we're doing Indonesia today.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I guess we were misinformed. We thought we were doing Thailand. So Indonesia. My mistake. So
Thailand next week.
Okay. So stay tuned for that next week. Okay. So Chef Paul over at GCC, what is your menu that you've set today to capture the flavors of Indonesia?
Well, the students have recreated some iconic dishes, but they brought it up to a contemporary level. And I'm going to let them talk about their dishes, their menus. But I just wanted to put out a notice that for lunch, we're going to be going through the multi-purpose auditorium. But after that, from dinner and then for the rest of the events, we're going to be going through the kitchen.
Okay, so slight change for those of you who have been visiting GCC for the last about 6 weeks or so. So make sure to head over to the multi-purpose auditorium starting, lunch service begins at 11 a.m. Make sure to get there early, guys, because this is top-notch food that you are certainly going to want to check out. So we've got some chefs. I don't even want to call them aspiring chefs, because if you guys can capture just the rich palette of Indonesian cuisine, I mean, you guys in my book, you guys are already there. So joining us from on the road, and I was telling her during commercial break, she has got this amazing lens flare effect that makes her look like she's in hyperspace. Chef Masi Calvo. Good morning, Chef.
Good morning.
Hi. So what's your responsibility in putting together this amazing Indonesian cuisine today for lunch and dinner?
So me and Pedro, we created the menu, which is curry spicy meatballs, garlic ginger chicken, Indonesian slaw, and pita bread. And then for our dessert, we have a ube crepe with peanut butter and chocolate filling.
Oh.
And so we created that menu, and then we basically just operate the kitchen together, and we kind of do teamwork with our classmates, and we do like production and everything. So we're like the ones who are in charge of that.
All right. So you are the, let's say you're the jab of the 1-2 punch of you and your partner, Chef Pedro Burrito. So Chef Pedro, what is your responsibility with working with Masi and putting this meal together?
We both like share the same goals together, which no person does things anything alone. Where we do things together, like production, and we talk about the team, see where to place them, how things can flow easily.
Is a meatball very, very challenging to put together when you guys talk about Indonesian meatballs? Because most people would associate the most popular meatballs, they say like the Italian style or some things like that. What makes an Indonesian meatball challenging as a culinary artist?
Well, it's mostly like the flavor. It's very heavy in curry, and it has cilantro in it. Like, it's just very strong flavors than compared to Italian meatballs. And it's more, it's more heavy in the spices.
Okay, Chef Pedro, for people that have never tried an Indonesian meatball before, is this the kind of thing that people can just like jam a fork in just like once and just kind of like bite around, or do you have to like cut it up into pieces and and quite literally savor the flavor?
I prefer that they savor the flavor, and that they should be open-minded about how the flavor is going to be, how it's going to be on their palate, because a lot of people have different preferences in terms of flavor. Whether they prefer not a lot of spices, not too much flavor in their mouth, and there are people that prefer more simple and more complex stuff too.
All right, right on. Okay, we also got in the Zoom room right now, we got Isaac and John Michael. They're joining us. Boys, good morning. Thanks for joining us, chefs.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, so what are you guys going to be working on today?
So for our dinner menu, we have coconut rice, pork saute, chili baked fish with coconut spinach, and Indonesian style corn on the cob. And our dessert will be a pandan cake with a coconut whipping sauce.
Wow. For people that have never attempted to make Indonesian food, and maybe they're used to Chamorro cooking, what goes into like Indonesian cuisine when you're preparing the food or when you're like laying out all your ingredients? Like, how is it different?
It's actually like the spices overall in total.
All right, right on. Okay, let's go back to.
It's good, guys. It's kind of similar to Chamorro food, but like a little of that Indian influence, right?
A little bit more. Like Chamorro food is spicy, but Indonesian food is like to the next level. But we didn't try to go to that level because there's some of our customers that are kind of take the heat. We try to go in the middle of it.
They're banty, right?
It's for the customers.
Well, you guys know you're talking to Malfunction right here, right? I mean, this is like Mr. Pika.
No, but they do fried rice, right, Chef? There's some isn't there like a famous Indonesian fried rice? Was it Nasam Goreng or something?
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chef Paul, last week you told us that because of demand and because of people are so supportive of helping the students, live their dream to prepare food, that you guys were actually going from the normal 150 box lunches up to 200. Are you guys producing that same volume today?
We're actually toned it down a bit because we're not sure because of finished spring break. So we actually we're doing between 150 and 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even more reason, my friends, why you guys have to get to GCC in Manila and make sure to try out these amazing lunch and dinner plates. And Chef, is it still $10?
Yes, $10.
All right.
And it's a $25 box.
Easy, so easy.
I mean, you get a dessert with it. This food is made fresh. It's served hot. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious.
It's great stuff, guys. And I'm telling you, Indonesian food, it's absolutely you're gonna love it because it's really. I mean, it is different from Chamorro food, but it's a lot of the similar like spice set of like this part of the world. So it's nothing crazy. And the dishes they chose to select, I think, are really accessible. And you guys are going to like it. So, Chef, is it 11 o'clock multi-purpose center at GCC? Is that when it opens?
Yes, so we open at 11. If we see people in line earlier, then we're going to start making more. We're going to start production. It's 11 to 12:30 in a multi-purpose. But starting in dinner at 4 to 5:30, we're going to be running it out of the kitchen because we're sharing the multi-purpose auditorium with criminal justice. And after that, we're going to be running the rest of the events out of the kitchen.
Okay.
And we set up a system for that.
Yeah, Chef. Well, those criminal justice students can work up a real strong appetite too. So I'm sure they're going to want to give you guys their hard-earned money to let you live your dream again. And make sure everybody, $10 goes to get you this amazing meal, as Chef Paul said, cooked fresh. This goes to help the students with their lab fees. And these guys are, a lot of them are professional chefs already. They're getting the credentials, and they are going to be out as tourism continues to get better. They're going to be in our restaurants, in our hotels, serving you and doing what they love.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Chef Paul. We're very excited to try some Indonesian cuisine today, and really appreciate this opportunity to partner up with you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, chefs. Get it.
All right, Mossy, drive safe, huh?
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
right on. Good stuff, man. Good talk too. And that's what I love about getting them on is it's like that's another part of it is talking about what you're cooking and being able to present it in a way, right, and share what it's about.
And these, like we've said, these are culinary craftsmen and craftswomen. I mean, they're artisans, right? Like putting it together is such a joy for them.
All right, let's keep it going in the KUAM News Zoom room where we have got the big gun of the Republican Party here to just kind of sort everything out that's been happening. It's been a pretty eventful week. Juan Carlos Benitez, the Republican Party chair. Thank you for joining us this morning, Juan.
Hey, so it's always my pleasure. Sorry, just experiencing some technical difficulties lately. So trying to make sure that we correct those and we're able to move forward.
Right on. Well, looking good. Beautiful scenery back there, Juan.
Thank you.
So anyway, how you been?
We're doing good. I came back from the mainland United States, working in Washington D.C. and with our Republican leadership and making sure that they know about Guam and take care of us and address some of the short issues that have been coming out lately with this Biden administration trying to take benefits away from us. So we fought for those benefits under the Trump administration. We're going to continue to fight for those benefits to be continued during the Biden administration.
Let's just start at the beginning. I guess, first of all, this ethics complaint that came out, well, it was kind of an unofficial one, and there was just a whole bunch of stuff that happened after that where we had Senator Tello on, and she said, oh, this is an attack from within my own party. Then there was a release that came out from you guys that was promptly rescinded that basically said, no, Tello, it's not your own party, it's the evil Democrats. And then that release was rescinded, and you guys put out another one. Was this yesterday, Juan? And let me just go ahead and read through this latest release from the Republican Party. This is a legit one, right, though? You're not going to take this one back?
This is the one and only release from the Republican Party. Go ahead.
Okay. Here we go. Leadership should focus on what truly matters. The executive committee members of the GOP Guam are unified in their support of Senator Tello Taidago. We all know her to be a person of integrity who puts the island first and who's tirelessly working for the good of the people of Guam. In the process, everyone should avoid any rush to judgment and should let the process work. Everyone, including Senator Taidago, should be afforded a fair and unbiased investigation and the presumption of innocence. The party is confident that at the conclusion of any investigation, Senator Taidago will be fully exonerated of these allegations. In the meantime, Senator Taidago and the Republican Party will continue to serve the people of Guam, will continue to push legislation and policies that promote the welfare of the island and that unite us all, legislation such as the RISE Act and reducing the BPT. We invite our Democratic colleagues to work with us in these positive endeavors and to join us in promoting a policy of inclusion rather than division. Well, that's way different than the release that was eventually unreleased, Juan. And that release was the Democrats, the FBI, corruption. There's indictments. They want to kill us because we're trying to, find stuff out. And it's, damn, these Democrats, it's a conspiracy. I mean, it was like one step short of QAnon.
Yeah. Well, I'll go by parts. And as there's no member in QAnon in any of our Republican associations here, and I still, after being an active member of the Republican Party for all this year, yet to meet one. So it's for me, it's interesting. I thought it was like some food diet or something when they mentioned the name for
it's
the first
new
time in the
keto.
media.
Yeah.
But mistakes happens. We receive a lot of proposals of what people feel that the party should say or do through many times. Our process is we review those, and then we come up with a decision that we present to the executive committee. The executive committee then decides whether we want to amend, edit, or change those documents and move forward. The document that you presented was not drafted by anybody from the executive committee. And that document was not reviewed by anybody of the executive committee. It was a document that was forwarded to the party, and unfortunately was put in a file to forward for discussion, and instead it was automatically sent out. It was quickly rescinded prior to media. We would have hoped media would have understood that to mean something happened here, and contacted us, because it would have been clearly stated, look, this is not the position of the party. It was a wrong document. By mistake, it was sent out. We rescinded it before even the morning had arrived. It was like in the middle of the night when this automatic outing went out. So I'm a little sad and disappointed that they would not have contacted us to find out why there was a rescinding of that position. That was never the position that the direction we were going. The position where we were going, are going, and continue to go is the position that we express on our one and only press release. That's the reality of that situation. There are two issues that I want to make sure that are very clear. No member of the executive committee of the Republican Party has said anything. Now, let me put it this way better. Every single member of the executive committee stands by our press release. It was unanimously decided. This is where we stand. We stand with our senators. They're ethical and proper individuals. That's why we had them run for office. Everybody knows Senator Taitagui and who she is. What we want to do is call for a full investigation to be done on this, because we know she will be clear, and we want to end this techniques of slander and mud attack. Media keeps giving credibility to all these unfunded allegations, but they don't give the same type of airtime or attention when those investigations are concluded and our individuals are cleared. It is hard for individuals to live with the stain of the certain of allegations that are unfounded if they're not provided the full justice at the full time. Our Constitution and our system of law allows for a due process. Senators should be given a due process. We are confident that she will come out with flying colors out of that, and then we hope that the media will provide a similar amount of attention and time to making sure that everybody knows that those rumors have been quashed.
Well,
right, but that's also up to the legislature, because oftentimes they don't tell you anything.
Yeah.
If they're, about their hearings, about when there are findings. The last time I think that there was a press conference that was held was when there was an investigation, I believe, into Matt Rector when he was a senator, and everybody knew, okay, this was the conclusion, and he ended up resigning. But complaints that have come forward in the past, and even in the last legislature, we've asked questions, and it's like, oh, we can't say anything.
Yeah. And Juan, look. There's a very recent example with Ray Tapasnia, who had also made an ethics complaint against Senator Taitagui, and it was the most matapang thing ever. He said she had asked a board member, "Hey, that the director sued the board. Are you okay with that?" Which was, was it snarky? Sure, but was it an ethical breach? No, hell no. But they had responded to Ray Taposnia last year, and they sent him a letter saying, yeah, we looked into it. It's nonsense. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. But it never came out. The Ethics Committee never released it. And I also have to say that we gave Senator Tello, 45 minutes on this show to go down the list of this complaint. And then also, what do you make? You're calling for a full investigation. You want this thing to, run through this committee. But when we talk to the speaker, it seems like they haven't even got an official complaint that meets all of the parameters for an official complaint, meaning like a real live person writing on the submission form. So I don't even know if this is even going to pass muster.
Well, and if that is the case, that's exactly the process that should be. Say, if somebody has to present a complaint and is doing this, it needs to be a legitimate human being who comes up and presents his allegations and charges. This is not, this fake names, this idea of people coming here and presenting rumors without standing behind them. We need to stop it. And I actually think that the media should also come in and say, look, at the end of the day, we talked about these allegations that were brought up. It turns out that person doesn't even exist, that no real person came up and stood up. And we need to give the benefit of the doubt to Senator Tyler. In this democracy that we live, you're innocent until proven guilty, and there's a process, and there's a reason why those requirements are there. It needs to be a real person that comes in. It's because she's not the first politician that they've done this to. We keep having all these charges brought up against other people in both parties, and then they end up in nothing. If we were in the majority, I can tell you that process, if someone came up, would be a transparent process. We would want to make sure that everybody saw what was going on in the workings of our legislature. And I hope to work very closely with our senators to capture that additional seat that we need so that you'll see it for yourselves when we take over in 2022. Juan
Carlos, what about the comments that Senator Tello had on this show that she believed that this ethics complaint was orchestrated by the new National Committee woman, Shelley Gibson?
Yeah, those are rumors that were floated out there, and I can completely tell you that they're as unfounded as the allegations against Senator Tyler.
Have you guys tightened up your process for issuing press releases?
Absolutely, and it wasn't a problem with the regular process. It was just, unfortunately, it went to the wrong. It went to the wrong mailbox. It was somebody forward this point. They wanted us to review to look at it, and instead of going for the executive committee to look at it, and I know what we would have said once we saw it. It was sent to the media by mistake. It was not a purposes. And I can tell you, no one in the executive committee reviewed that press release before it went out.
Yeah, but it wasn't that different from other press releases that you guys put out last year where you call out the administration for hiring and, political. So I actually thought the first release, I don't want to say it was better, but it seemed more in line with the type of stuff you guys have been coming out with, which is like partisan, highly charged, critical. Which of course, you guys are the opposition party. That's what it's supposed to be. But then you come out with this fluffy one, and it just makes me wonder, what's the posture here?
Yeah, first of all, this is not a fluffy one. This is a legal one, and it's an ethical one, and it's where we should always be. We ask these people to run under our banner. We don't ask people that we don't think have the value and at the core are good and honest people. We ask people that we know that are worthy of carrying the banner of the Republican Party of Guam and have the best in their innermost soul. They want the best interest for the people of Guam, and they're going to come under attack. Unfortunately, under the reality we're living now, Trump's attacks come towards everybody that runs for office. And what we're doing is we're frightening people from wanting to run. They're saying, why do I want to run with this? They're going to start talking badly about my family. They're going to be talking badly about me. For why would I do that? I would make more money in the private sector than going into the legislature. and my life would be fine. So we need to stop this. I think we can work together. I think you both are doing an amazing job. But the idea here is to make sure that when unfounded allegations by fake individuals are brought up, the media ends up clarifying. Those are unfounded allegations made by fake names and not real human beings, and they should be disregarded. They should be dismissed. You know, we should look at real issues because we have some of those. When those come in, then we should investigate those. But always, rule of law. You know, we're in a democracy. That's why people want to be here. Is everybody will be given a fair chance, and everybody is innocent until proven guilty. And we need to stop finding them guilty by media release. That's not the way to do it.
Who writes up
You asked me what a change of tone. You asked me what a change in tone in the release. I am now the chairman of the party, and I've been educated as an attorney, and I believe, you know, no more low blows. We're going to have difference on issues. They're going to be difference on substantive issues. You know, we disagree on doing telemedicine for abortions. That is extremely dangerous. You know, we disagree with keeping the GRT at 5%. We think we should lower the VPT at 5%. We think we should be lowered at 4%. We fought hard to make sure that we got the earned income tax credit permanently paid by the federal government. So now, you know, these are substantive issues. We're not going to be looking at going with this mudslinging. That's not us. That at least not while I'm there and this present executive committee.
So then who wrote up that initial rescinded press release? If it wasn't anybody within the executive committee, it was somebody within the party?
It was submitted to the party as, hey, you should look at this as a potential press release for us. And that's what I want to talk to. I want to talk about the release we did right, and they would submit.
Yeah, but I mean, if you guys sent out a release that you did wrong, I mean, you know, it's out there already. One.
Yeah, but you know, I would have hoped that media would have respected the fact that it was rescinded immediately.
Are you trying to blame the media?
I'm trying to blame the media for not following what I would have expected is a normal process of media, which would have been to pull back and say, why are you rescinding the release?
Juan, but I mean, we get a complaint that's sent to senators, and once it's sent to senators, of course they're going to put eyes on it, and of course we have a responsibility to report on it, which we did, and we also afforded the opportunity to Senator Teitig. So I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Well, and in the event that the chain of events leads to, like, hey, they haven't submitted anything officially, that doesn't necessarily mean the person is a fake individual. It just means that they didn't submit anything officially. And so what we do as a media is we look at the content of it and the fact that it's been sent around to senators, and we address it accordingly in a fair and balanced, you know, to quote a phrase, manner.
Right. Well, I'm not blaming the media for doing what the media does. I'm just saying the Republican Party of Guam stands united, all of us, behind the due process of law in our democracy, and behind the transparency of that process to show that our senator has done nothing wrong, and she will be clear on this. And a part of that transparency is letting people know that the charges that were presented are not from an actual name, that they're basically anonymous charges. That should be known. And the media should state that clearly when they talk about the issue.
Was it Bobby Shringy who wrote the first release?
Bobby Shringy is a member of the executive committee. And I told you already that none of the members of the executive committee was involved in the drafting of that press release.
Who typically writes the press releases then for the Republican Party? Is it usually a member of the executive committee?
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort of the members of the executive committee. Yes. We have 3 different people. It depends on the issue. Sometimes it's something I'm passionate about. I'll draft this one. Sometimes it's something that some of the other members of the executive committee that they want to have the first draft. But at the end of the day, we all review it. We all do our edits, and then we agree on what's going to come out through the executive committee. That release that you guys keep trying to put on us never went through that process. That was an email that arrived. It was put on a file so that it was forwarded to us so that we would see what other people were saying that we should do. And unfortunately, that file was not forwarded to the executive committee by mistake. It went to the media. It was immediately rescinded.
It was actually 3 hours later. Juan,
Yeah,
but I mean,
maybe-
but Juan, you can't really fault us.
Maybe
'cause-
next time when we resend them next time, we'll put a note saying, hey, sorry, this document doesn't belong to us. You know, we're taking it back for this reason. But also feel free, if we're awake sending it, feel free to call us back and say, why are you resending this document? And we will be more than frank and honest and say the reasons why. And you can weigh that, whether then you want to say, look, they submitted it, they rescinded it, and it is. I will always remember in Puerto Rico, the senator for Mississippi went to Puerto Rico, and he was asked if he supported statehood for Puerto Rico. And he said, I support the people of Puerto Rico deciding their own future and doing their own self-determination. And then the reporter said, off the record, and he said, off the record, I support statehood for Puerto Rico. What was the headline? Quote, off the record, I support statehood for Puerto Rico, end quote. You know, the guy said, why would you burn me? You know, I think let's have a communication channel. Feel free. If we made a mistake, we're human. It was our fault.
Okay.
It was our mistake.
So we're gonna institute a triple check system every time we get a press release from the Republican Party of Guam. Okay, is this legit? No, are you sure? Are you sure you're rescinding this?
Every time we resend an email. Feel free to call
Man,
back.
Juan, we're gonna move on from this subject because I don't like seeing you tap dance like this. It's definitely out of character. But let's go to Frank Blas, Senator Frank Blas Jr. Wrote a letter to the congressman after trying to call him, finally sent him a letter, all these issues with the SBA, EIDL, and eligibility on Guam. Congressman St. Nicholas in the press conference said, Frank Blas Jr. is an ignoramus. You know, he needs to wake up. We're not asleep at the wheel. Yeah, if you don't qualify, you know, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, so to speak. Have you had any conversation between Congress or with the congressman relative to this, or what kind of prompted that reaction?
I don't know what prompted that reaction. I have expressed interest to everybody and concerns about the decision of the Biden administration to tie in the funding to a 2010 census that doesn't reflect at all anything of the COVID realities that we're living with, particularly while under the Trump administration. Everybody in the United States, every business in the United States that was impacted was provided assistance regardless where they were, because they realized everywhere in the United States was impacted by COVID. Nowhere else worse than Guam. That bill passed. I think that at this point we need to look and call for this Biden administration to either administratively change it, or if it's in the statute itself, that requirement that they based on the 2010 census, that they amend the statute. I think those are legitimate concerns and arguments. You know, the way to look at it, if you look at that 2010 census tract, Yigo, Tamuning, you know, most of the south of Guam, all those areas are considered to be too wealthy to qualify for the benefits, and that's a problem. Let's go. We start with the senator's concern. We hope that there's a way that we can work bipartisanly to fix this issue with the Biden administration. But I can tell you that the Trump administration, every business in Guam that applied got this benefit granted to them. And it's a pity that now that Biden has become president, we have a Democratic governor and a Democratic legislature that they come up with regulations that have now taken out half of the island. I think you heard my wife. I have to take my son to school. So I hope that answers your question. Is there anything else I can do quickly?
Who's running for governor for you guys?
I've said it before. There's been a number of people that have approached me. I let campaigns decide when they want to officially run. But I would tell you that there's a number of exploratory committees going out there, figuring out if they're going to make the final decision. Okay, I'm heading up.
What about Congress, man? Real quick, Congress. Anybody express an interest in running for Congress?
We've had people express interest in Congress too. Well, Chris,
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure for both of you.
Always.
Look forward to our next time in person.
Yes, right on.
All right.
Thank you, Juan.
Amen.
All right,
Bye-bye.
got it. That was fun. Juan Carlos Benitez, Republican Party chair. It was funny because obviously they made some waves the last couple of days on this show with the Republican Party. And we had Senator Duenas, who's the minority leader, was supposed to come on. And I talked to him yesterday. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll go on. But then it turns out he's actually a member of this ethics committee that, is supposed to investigate the complaint. And so he's like, yeah, actually, I shouldn't come on. And then Senator Tello, I was like, hey, come back on about that release. And she was like, oh, yeah, man, really busy tomorrow morning. So we got Juan Carlos. Man, 7:53. Again, Bree broke the news this morning of the passing of former Speaker Joe T. San Augustine.
We got a statement from Speaker Therese Terlahi just minutes ago regarding his passing, of course, extending her condolences. Speaker San Augustine, he served as Speaker in the 20th, 21st, and 22nd Guam legislatures and started serving as a senator in the 14th Guam legislature.
Right, and then I also heard from Democratic Party Chair Sarah Thomas Netty Dog, who has said that the party has forwarded their condolences to San Augustine's family. Let's bring on Paulie Mike Crisostomo real quick before the top of the hour about the new guidances that came out. Sabrina, I believe it was it restaurants and places of worship are now going to be allowed 75% capacity?
Yeah.
Yep.
Came out late yesterday.
Good morning, Paulie Mike.
Hi, good morning, Chris and Sabrina. Thank you. And Jason.
How you feeling this morning with this new guidance that's coming out 75%?
Nothing new. We expected it, and we're still trying to process it with our liturgical commission as to what that means for our churches. Many of our pastors have called in already to kind of inquire whether does this mean we're removing those barricades? Does this mean we're gonna relax a little bit of the protocols? Is this gonna mean that more people will be coming in? I don't know exactly what that's gonna mean, with the commission still pondering on that, but we'll be presenting a mitigation plan to the public health, and they've asked for that, of course, and as part of the law. And so we are going to comply with that and turn in something. But again, this is nothing new. Our churches have been very vigilant about our protocols, and we were operating 50% already capacity, and some of us have been operating even more. The difficulty is that the church is a space that is limited. So even if I have a 500 capacity seating capacity, and I'm going to go 50% or 75%, that means like 250 to 300 people that are going to be there. And we're already maxing that. With people wanting to come back to church, we're now going to be considering stopping live stream masses and Facebook page live stream of the masses pretty soon. The lifting of the obligation to go to church will be soon discussed to be lifted by Archbishop, but again, that's all in discussion. But again, it's nothing new for us. We're going to continue to move forward to see what we can do to accommodate our people and try to bring as many people we can into the church proper.
Remember when people couldn't go to church?
Yes, I remember very clearly preaching to an empty church.
Paulie Mike, so one thing I thought was interesting is when the churches first opened, it's like, yeah, people were going, but then with Easter Mass, which I was able to attend a cathedral, actually outside cathedral, right? People have been going to church. And I wonder if part of it was, I was thinking this morning, I wonder if it's like the exclusivity of it, like knowing that church is on, but you might not get in. It's like a club. You know what I mean? When you go to the club, and they're like, oh, man, I don't know. We're going to get in here. I don't know how you dress. With the church, it's like you don't know their capacity. You don't, so people want to go. That being said.
I have to admit, here at St. Anthony's, for example, we when that sign goes up of full capacity, that we've met our full capacity, when that sign goes up, it's very difficult to say no to our people.
Right.
It's very difficult to say to a Manumco, we're at full capacity, you cannot come in, and boy, they give you their mind, and they give our poor ministers, they are confronted with so much because, oh, you're letting your friend in. Oh, you don't care about.
Yeah.
So I can understand that attitude or that idea, Chris, that it could be a very exclusivity. But it's not our intent at all. It's to comply with the protocols and with public health.
And so how soon do you guys anticipate, what do you got to do, submit plans or something, or is it this Sunday you're going to be 75?
This, yeah, actually it's effective. So we're going to continue to plan for that this weekend.
Okay. Do you think it's going to take a lot of extra work, or?
It's going to take a lot of manpower as far as our volunteers are concerned to ensure that, once again, social distancing, and that's going to be difficult with 6 feet. I mean, can you imagine 75%, and we want we continue to want 6 feet social distancing.
Yeah.
And that'll be very difficult to try to adhere to, but we're going to try, do our best. Mask, of course, facial mask will still be required. Sanitization will still be required. Again, the choir will still be limited. So these are things that the commission are going to go over and to see what we can do to relax it a little bit. We hope to have something soon, and I hope I know Father Paul and the commission are working very diligently to make that happen for all the pastors.
Right on, Paulie. I just looking at the cathedral and seeing how crowded it gets. I don't know how much more space they can knock out while still maintaining the 6 feet social distancing, right? So we'll see.
Correct. I mean, again, I can only speak of St. Anthony. We're using our cry room. We have an extra canopy outside.
Yeah,
we have the chapel.
Right.
Any more overflow, we're going to go to the school gym.
Is part of you, Paulie, when you read this, Paulie, did part of you think like, Busta, why not just 100%? I mean, what's the difference between 75 and 100, really?
It didn't. That's why it's not new. It's not. Yes, we're thankful, but it's really we should just proceed further. And I think it's because they're very cautious about how our churches are congregating. The number of people, the potential of exposure. But we're no different than any other institutions. You go to the shopping centers. You go to the supermarkets, the banks. I mean, we're no different than those institutions.
All right, Paulie. I'll say you're very different in a spiritual sense, but we got to let you go because at the top of the hour. Thank you for your time, and we'll pray over it, okay?
Thank you very much. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Father Mike Chrysostimo with the Archdiocese. It is 8 o'clock on the breeze. We're KUAM-FM, Agatnia, Guam. Take a quick break. Come back on KUAM TV next. Good morning.
Looking for
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
It's 8:01. Good morning, KUAM TV. Guys looking good out there. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jason Solis.
Good morning, and good morning, everybody.
Yes,
Thanks for hanging with us for the first 2 hours.
Welcome to The Link here, Thursday, April 15th, 2021 episode, proudly brought to you by East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, Carrier, IT&E, and Jack in the Box. You know what sounds good for lunch? Something that's $3. And something that's $3, curly fries. Never a bad time to enjoy Jack in the Box's newest $3 sauced and loaded curly fries. With new slow-smoked bacon, available in 2 flavors, triple cheddar and spicy pepper jack. At 8:02, here's who's coming up on the show. Landon Idlet with a look at weather with the National Weather Service. Lillian Posadas of the Guam Memorial Hospital. Cover Me, brought to you by Burger King, all on the way. At 8:02, good morning again, KUAM TV. Let's just jump right into the news from the KUAM News team with the very latest. Good morning, Sabrina Salas Matanani.
Good day, everybody, and good morning. Former Speaker of the Guam Legislature, Joe T. San Augustine, passed away. He served multiple terms starting in the 14th through the 23rd Guam Legislature and served as Speaker in the 20th, 21st, and 22nd Guam Legislature. Speaker Therese Terlahi says that in his long and distinguished tenure as Senator and Speaker, San Augustine was instrumental in the establishment of many agencies, services, and programs of GovGuam and fought for retirement security for employees after their long years of sacrifice and service to the government. Even after serving in the Guam Legislature, he served as a member of the Board of Trustees for the GovGuam Retirement Fund for over 20 years. From 1997 to 2001, he also served as chairman of the Democratic Party of Guam. He is also the father of sitting Senator Joe S. San Augustine. Speaker Terlahi says his exemplary work ethic and service to lifting our people will forever remain an inspiration and standard by which future leaders should model themselves after. We offer our prayers and deepest condolences to his family and their time of grief. As well, the governor and lieutenant governor, Lulian Guerrero and Josh Tenorio, also offered their deepest condolences and sympathies. According to the governor, as a friend, I will miss him. As an island, we will miss a great statesman and advocate for the people of Guam, a compassionate public official, and a devoted Catholic. Thank you, Joe, for all that you have done for our people. And that was a statement from Governor Lulian Guerrero. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio saying Speaker Joe T. San Augustine was a giant in politics. He helped shape and reform our public institutions and build Guam's economic engines to generate wealth and prosperity for the island. He was well regarded by leaders of all persuasions and will be remembered as one of the most effective policymakers to have ever served our island. In other news, KUAM has confirmed that 27-year-old Segundo Aguero Sablon has been arrested. GPD last week asked the community's help to find him. He had been wanted by GPD Highway Patrol in connection to a fatal crash that occurred on March 23rd in Barragata. KUAM is waiting for additional information about his arrest from GPD. The Guam Police Department, in the meantime, their follow-up investigation into the Jerry Kitchen case has been completed and forwarded to the AG's office. The AG's office confirms that they are in receipt of the police report and will conduct their own review and, if necessary, any further investigation. It was back in February when a red Jeep with several passengers inside, including an off-duty police officer, slammed into the restaurant. The driver was cited for imprudent driving. As reported, Chief of Police Steve Ignacio hinted that new information unfolded throughout the course of their follow-up investigation. The AG's office wasn't able to provide any findings related or detailed in that report. Attorney David Highsmith pled guilty to 1 count of assault as a misdemeanor. Highsmith entered a deferred plea agreement with the government, which threw out all other charges in the indictment to include the dismissal of assault as a third-degree felony, terrorizing, and official misconduct as misdemeanors. In 2019, Highsmith, who at the time was under the AG's office, allegedly pushed attorney Gary Gumatautel in the courthouse after a hearing. Gumatautel fell, was knocked unconscious, and transported to the hospital. According to the plea, Highsmith faced a 1-year imprisonment with credit for time served, but all was suspended. He was placed on a 1-year probation period and must comply with conditions to include staying away from Gumatautel and performing 50 hours of community service. Highsmith currently works under the Public Service Defender Corporation. A second batch of some 10,000 EIP-3 payments has been processed, totaling about $35 million. Payments were made by both paper check and electronic transfers. Today, date, a total of almost $89 million in EIP3 payments has been processed. Most eligible taxpayers do not have to take any new action. DRT will use its available information to determine eligibility. For more information, check the DRT website at guamtax.com. You can also email your questions to guameip@revtax.guam.gov. Calling is not recommended due to the high volume. And with more news, here is Tyler Matanani.
Buenos and half a day, everyone. I'm Tyler Matanani with your headlines here on The Link. The FDA and the CDC have recommended a ceasefire on the use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in the war against COVID. Here's more on what this means on the home front, as more than 200 island residents have already been given the shot.
Carrie Didasco and her husband Jason were one of the hundreds on island that decided to take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The couple received the shot Monday.
I already got it. I can't get it to get out of me. But I'm just not somebody that's going to dwell on it.
The FDA and CDC recommended the pause after 6 women between the ages of 18 and 48 developed blood clots after receiving the one-and-done dose. Their symptoms began 1 to 2 weeks ago after they got the shot. One died and another is in critical condition.
We are
the collection of data. He doesn't expect the delay to last more than a few days.
We're seeing a correlation, but it's not necessarily a causation, as in the vaccine doesn't necessarily mean that it's caused the clot, but we're seeing the correlation. You need more data, you need better information to definitively say that, oh yeah, it's caused, there's a high likelihood that it's caused by it.
It was last month when Guam received its first shipment of the J&J vaccine. It was prioritized for use on the homeless, homebound, senior citizens, and inmates. DOC spokesperson Major Antone Uggins says their nurses on Tuesday were trained on how to give shots and were set to administer the J&J vaccine starting next week.
I did speak to our nurse this morning, and we're gonna stand by and wait for the public health guidance. We're gonna stand by and wait for the public health guidance on how to proceed.
In terms of how this will affect Guam's path to half,
it is going to make it tougher.
Dr. Cabrera admits we might not reach the goal of 50% of the island's adult population being fully vaccinated to reopen travel next month.
We have to remember, safety number one. And is it the end of the world that we don't get 50% by May 1st? No.
A total of 246 island residents have already been inoculated with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, although all 50 states, including Guam, have temporarily suspended the use of J&J. Carrie isn't worried.
Personally, I'm not extremely concerned because it's such a low amount of people, but, you know, knock on wood, it doesn't come knocking on my door.
Governor Leon Guerrero has issued a new executive order further easing restrictions of the public health emergency. Effective Friday, April 16 at 8 a.m., places of worship may increase occupancy to no more than 75%. Competitive contact athletics will be allowed at schools. Indoor dining for restaurants and bars will also be allowed to operate at 75% with no more than 8 persons at a table. Outdoor tables may seat up to 15 people. All of the activities are subject to the established public health guidelines. Guam remains in pandemic condition of readiness 3. A quirk in President Biden's new American Rescue Plan law means some companies on Guam can qualify for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, while another business right across the street may not. Senator Frank Blas is calling out what he believes is an unfair situation, but Congressman Michael Sinicolas says it's simply what Congress wanted, and there's little else that can be done.
Senator Blas says companies have complained to him about not being able to qualify for the disaster assistance because the new law requires that their business be in a low-income zone. The zones are based on data from the 2010 census that Blas says in many cases makes no sense.
Please tell me that Hotel Row is low income. And please tell me that Babulo is high income.
Blas wrote to Congressman Sinicolas seeking an explanation and fix to the problem. Sinicolas was asked about it at his news conference on Tuesday.
This census application of the EIDL is across the country. The
problem that he's trying to create and the implications that he's trying to make about our office not doing his job is very, very incorrect, because the exact same circumstances are found all across the country. So it was just the way that the package was created, but the implication from Senator Blas that somehow we were asleep at the wheel, I think just speaks to his ignorance.
I don't think there was ignorance in me asking the questions. I think the ignorance is in not being able to inform the community that how it has been passed by Congress, and heads up, because some of you aren't going to be getting it. To compare, the streets that we have on Guam to Florida and to California is, there is no comparison.
If we're going to change that, then we would need to expand the program legislatively, and that would need to expand across the country.
And at this point, St. Nicholas suggests that making any changes or accommodations for Guam in the program is not likely to happen.
We were able to get it for a certain segment of the community, and that's a win.
To say that we should take this as a win, we should appreciate for what we got. Tell that to the mom and pop store. Tell that to Uggan store in Barragata.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
In regional news, 9 CNMI firefighters have been fired for refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and they're prepared to bring on the heat on the CNMI government.
On February 18th, the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands Governor Ralph Torres sent out a directive mandating all executive branch employees and activity heads to get vaccinated. This includes frontline agency employees at the Department of Fire and Emergency Medical Services and Department of Public Safety. As a result, the DFEM's Commissioner Dennis Mingiola sent out termination notices on March 19th to 9 firefighters who refused the COVID-19 vaccine, including the agency's now former Public Information Officer, Derek Gersandi. The notice for proposed adverse action served as a 30-day advance written notice on the employee's termination. Former DFEM's employee Adam Safer shared his notice with KUAM, which states, quote, "This requirement to be vaccinated was the first step in ensuring that you, your coworkers, and the community you serve are protected against the deadly virus. Your failure to adhere to this directive is considered insubordination to issued government department policy." Both Gersandi, Safer, and other fired personnel respectfully declined an interview, as they plan to take legal actions against the local government. Although Gersandi, who has worked under the agency for the past 10 years, provided this statement. He says, quote, "We are not anti-vaxxers, nor are we anti-science. But we are extremely concerned about the fact that we are being mandated to take a vaccine that is not FDA approved, nor as effective as it was originally believed to be when it comes to stopping the spread of COVID," unquote. Gersandi points out that within the local community, there have been at least 2 confirmed positive cases of COVID in which both individuals were fully vaccinated. While they may have been asymptomatic, he says this ultimately does not stop further transmission. Further, he states that he does not have any risk factors or comorbidities. As the CNMI government's directive stated that employees may provide an exemption request based on 2 criteria. 1, a medical exemption, or 2, a religious exemption. The 9 firefighters had yet to claim either exemption. Gersandi expresses how he feels penalized for not having any health problems and not choosing to use religion as an exemption excuse. The termination notice concludes with detailing the individual's rights in which they may respond against the adverse action within 20 calendar days. The former frontliners also have the right to appeal any final decisions on their employment with the Civil Service Commission. The termination notice was signed off by DFEM's Commissioner Dennis Mingiola, Office of Personnel Management Director Francis Torres-Sablan, and CNMI Attorney General Edward Manabusan.
You can read Gersandi's statement in its entirety online on KUAM.com. That's the news for now. We'll see you all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
Speaker Therese Terlahi's office says it has not received an official ethics complaint against Senator Tello Taidagui, a widely circulated complaint alleging several issues made the rounds via email. But according to legislative rules, the complaint is only valid when submitted in writing and on proper forms. Meanwhile, the Speaker also shared that the Legislative Ethics Committee's membership is rotated on a quarterly basis. The current members are Vice Speaker Tina Munoz Barnes and Senators Talina Nelson, Sabina Perez, Clint Rogel, and Minority Members Senator Chris Duenas and Frank Bloss Jr. The committee will meet on April 23rd to select a chair. As for the latest numbers, the Joint Information Center reports that out of 574 test samples taken on the 13th, 4 tested positive for COVID. Of the new cases, 2 were identified through contact tracing. This brings the total of officially reported cases of COVID-19 to 7,851 since March of last year. 37 cases are active. More than 7,600 people have recovered. There are currently 3 people hospitalized. To date, there have been a total of 136 COVID-related deaths. The CAR score remains at 0.2. As for vaccination numbers, a total of 40,358 people have been fully vaccinated. And we are now going to head into the Zoom room where we're going to the National Weather Service for an update on Tropical Storm. Is it Surigay, Landon?
Surigay. That's pretty close. I've heard different pronunciations, and I think one of the hardest decisions we have in the world of meteorology, especially in the West Pacific, is learning how to pronounce these names. And so this is all comes from the World Meteorological Organization Typhoon Committee. That's a list of names contributed from 14 different countries that submit these names, and then they go onto the list of tropical cyclone names for the tropical northwestern Pacific basin. So as you remember, back in 2019, November 2019, we hosted the Typhoon Committee annual conference here on Guam. That was our first time doing so, as a couple from my office, including myself, were part of that Typhoon Committee on several different working groups. And so we have the opportunity to work and collaborate with people across the Pacific basin. So it's pretty exciting. So just a little bit on this latest tropical storm, and I think, Jason, you're bringing up the satellite picture. There you go, Jason. I just spoke to my office. They are working up the latest advisory. That's advisory number 6 that will be going out. It's usually due by 8 o'clock, but there are some decisions being made regarding Palau. If you see that in the image on the lower southwest corner, this image is Palau, and then up in the northeastern part, that's Guam. That thing is still spinning. It's a tropical storm, and it's been proceeding pretty much as we expected. A slow crawl toward the west-northwest. Not much change there. The good news for folks in the Palau and western Yap State is that it's been a slow, gradual development process. But the bad news is it's been moving so slowly toward the west-northwest. So I just spoke to the office, and they are making some changes to the warnings and watches we have in effect. Overnight, we did have a tropical storm watch for Koror, Palau, and Kayengo to the north of Koror, as well as a tropical storm warning for Nulu Island and Yap State. We're going to maintain the tropical storm warning because some of that convection on the eastern side of this tropical storm looks like it's going to be sweeping around the eastern periphery of that inner core, and that could be coming up towards Nulu. This is one of the complexities that we have to watch out for these developing tropical systems. For us, it's an easy decision for Guam because it's well out of our area. But for Palau and Yap, we do have to keep that in mind. So we are raising a tropical storm warning for Kayengo because this thing's going to be moving slowly west-northwest. And so this tropical storm force winds are likely for the northernmost islands of Palau. We're thinking right now, based on what we're looking at in the models and the analysis, the strongest winds will keep to the north of Koror, Palau itself. This is going to continue. I'm going to flip over to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center graphic. This is the latest on advisory number 6, and this is from the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. This is showing that gradual motion. We have a lot of questions coming from the Philippines. This is going to be another Filipino storm. Is it going to hit Mindanao? Is it going to hit Central Philippines? Right now, this is expected to curve gradually towards the northwest and then make a turn toward the north, keeping to the east of the Philippines. However, any further westward motion than currently forecast would scrape it along easternmost Philippines. So we do have to keep that in mind because these things do change direction and can adjust their course each day in the subsequent model run. So right now it's currently projected to stay out into the Philippine Sea and well to the west of Guam over here. Now, specifically for us, we were hoping to get a little bit of rainfall out of this system, but the mid-level ridge just to the north of this tropical cyclone, that kept it suppressed more toward the south. So it never made that turn to the north, passing through Yap and then going into the Philippine Sea. It kept going towards the west-northwest. That's going to keep it farther away from Guam and the CNMI. So our rain chances have significantly been limited. The bad side for that is it's going to allow our fire danger to continue to increase because of limited rainfall across the region. The other thing is the winds will stay up. So as our fire danger increases with lack of rainfall, the winds will be up just a little bit, moderate to fresh in the coming days. So watch out for that. We might be issuing fire weather watches and red flag warnings in the coming days. The other thing is, as this thing intensifies, this larger wind field around, and that's one thing we've been keying in across Palau and Yap State, is even though this is the center of motion, and I'm gonna go to our last graphic here, even though this is the center of the circulation, the wind field is very broad around the system. So this hashed blue area, those are tropical storm force winds now reaching over Kayango and then just to the edge of Nulu and then back to the north side. The broader wind field howling westerlies across Palau, and these are turning up across eastern and central Yap State. Those are all generating a large fetch of swell and wind waves. Eventually that's going to make its way to our area this weekend and early next week. So where do we look as far as our seas? Well, right now at Retidian Point, we have our dominant north swell and the northeast trade wind swell. That's going to be shifting in the coming days. We're going to start seeing a little targeted area of waves coming in, energy coming in from the 240 to 210. That's going to be that southwest swell building towards the end of the week and over the weekend. Will it become hazardous? Well, it depends on how strong those winds are on the south and eastern side of Tropical Storm Surigay. That could generate hazardous surf for us along south and west facing reefs. You know, if we look at the model data here, I always show this on Monday mornings with you all. This is what our forecast looks like, the purple line. So we're expected to climb, our combined seas and swell will be climbing in the days to come. Right now, our guidance is a little bit lower than what we're observing at the Retidian buoy. And if that continues, we'll definitely reach hazardous surf conditions along south and west facing reefs come early next week. So keep that in mind. The weather will be fine out there, but the large, longer period swell could generate hazardous conditions along south and west facing reefs of Guam and the CNMI. So that's the biggest thing that we have to be concerned about as far as our impacts from this tropical storm. Will it become a typhoon? Yeah, we are looking at that expectation to continue. Like I was saying yesterday in some of our broadcasts, it was pretty not the best organized system for a tropical storm, but it's expected to get its act together and could intensify dramatically in the coming days. So we could see it becoming a typhoon sometime on Friday, perhaps, as it moves well away from Guam. So are we going to have a direct hit from this? Not at all. So that's a popular question we have to our Facebook page from Guam. Is this going to be a problem? Not necessarily, just the season surf next week.
Okay. Well, thank you, Landon. Thanks for that. Yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And take it easy. There you go. Landon Nylet of the National Weather Service, forecasting from home.
He's been doing that well before 2020.
Right.
All right. And in national news, investigators are still trying to determine whether the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is linked to a handful of blood clotting cases. Natalie Brand has more details.
The CDC's advisory committee is holding an emergency hearing on the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, now paused for use after blood clots were discovered in at least 6 people.
They will analyze the clinical information around these 6 events post-vaccination and others that are reported. And once able to review the best available evidence, deliberate on potential updates to the vaccine recommendations and uses of the vaccine.
All 50 states have agreed to follow the CDC's recommendation, but in a private call with the White House, some state leaders voiced concerns the decision could increase vaccine hesitancy.
The ability for governors to reinstill confidence after something like this is 100 times harder than putting the pause on in the first place.
Surgeon General Vivek Murthy defended the decision on CBS This Morning.
To have a chance to do the actual investigation to see if there's a real link. And the second is to have that time to communicate with healthcare professionals about what to look for, but also how to treat these conditions.
The CDC Advisory Committee is scheduled to vote on updated recommendations for use later this afternoon.
We believe that by empowering Americans with data and facts, we will strengthen the public's trust in government and increase their confidence in the vaccines.
Doctors say people who have received the J&J vaccine in the last 3 weeks need to be on the lookout for symptoms. Those include severe headaches, difficulty moving, shortness of breath, and pain in the legs or abdomen. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
And with your news in Chamorro, here is Kin Conception.
Buenas tardes, asunto gifinot sa Moro gini KOAM News para Webes de 15 de abril 2021. Si Dr. Felix Cabrera, Chief Medical Officer para Departamento de Salud dan Serviços Sociais sa ilang pormata TGAG na din ni FDA dan ni CDC ni pamana para na ay amot bakuna gini Johnson & Johnson na kompanya. Por está 269 na residente ng Guam marisibi este na klaseng binakuna. Gimapas na mes si VACCP sa manafon naman na serbi este na amot gini Johnson & Johnson para manay gima. Gitisina madingoy gumaniya at man malahestras tagi DPHSS na adult care dan senior citizens na programa siha. Ilinga si Cabrera na estima na este na pinarin binakunan Johnson & Johnson sa para los cuantos días sa. Segundo na asunto, Gobierno Luliang sa nahusing nuevo na din eksekutibo no rinibahay rekto na reglamento ni Public Health Emergency. Gilas 8 giekan giibednes gidia 16 giabrid. Igumadzu siya sa sinya esta matutuhon marisibi esta hulog 70% gisanhalom. Iwagon setting ginatsagi na kompetisyon sa sinya esta masedi gi eskwela. Isagan sumotso don sa launch siya sa sinya esta hulog 75% na kapasidad tao gisanhalom. Dootso masedi para kada lamasa. Isan hitong na lamasa sa sinya esta hulog 15 na tao. Toros di siya sa debido matsogin nisgayon salud na ma-establisa niya public health. Sumaga ay guahan gi Pandemic Condition of Readiness 3. Gyotro asunto, sa puritiamang staw pati tempong graduation in Department of Public Health sa manahusag inisgayon para ceremonian grinaduha para high school dyan mastat kalusiya na sagan finanaugwi at dyan na inisgayon sa sangan at tisina no guahan na face-to-face na seremonyo. Sinya masusedi gisan hizong no debil yung matatizi sa maorsga reglamento na seguridad dyan sosyal na dinastansya. Asunto por stimulus, segundo na grupong salapi para stimulus sa ma-process at total 10,000 na inapas sa balong 35 milyon pesos. Este ni mafananan EIP3 sa manahuzong gi-check pada rekitamento na deposita halong gi sa mo account. Esta po todo sa kana 89 milyon pesos na salapi man ma-process. Para madzot na tao-tao, tazaw nesesita mas ponsogwi na nanggaha. Niya agwihi, pero madetermina ikunalifika. Para mas informasyon, hanap pa rin sa niya website di Department of Revenue and Tax no www.guamtax.com. Sinalok yung email kuston mo gato gi guameip@reftax.guam.gov. Lote merekomenda na unagang siya sa mampusesta megay manaagang. Mas artikulo, ilingay mag sa Department of Labor si David De La Sola na maling niya mohon sa zanggino na ligaw sa penamenti na tsotso. So manay direktor sa Nadirsiyan Oficial de Gobernamento pero maepok taw-tawta na mga no mananga hasta kihoko kisalapi Public Unemployment Assistance no makpusan prigi September na mes performance PI tsotso. Ilingay mas sa De La Sola na tisan migay na salapi guaha para si finena na matu finena na masadbi na program and training gi Guam Community College. Yuto mo na sunto. Manafanadan ni polisiya investigasyon niya gaji kausan Jerry's Kitchen na sagan sumotso sa esta manahon report niya gwati gi ofisina ni General Abogadong Guahan. Makufirma niya dyan ofisina na esta marisibi dyan na report sa para ma-review sa kung necesaryo ma-estado para ma-imbestiga. Tatig Febrero na mes na gaga na jeep nugay pasahero siya gisan halom kung todo un oficial polisiya ni off-duty sa atopi halom imena ni sagan sumotso. Masitay driver pod manyugon emputu. Ni-report KOAM, Chief of Police Steve Ignacio kula na hinta na guahan nuevo mas informasyon masoda gidurante ni investigasyon niya. Tisina ofisina ni General Abogadong Guahan masasangan por hafa mas masoda guhina report investigasyon. Para KOAM News, Guaho si Kin Conception.
And that's your news. Stay tuned for more on the link after the break.
Family platter of fried chicken?
Check.
Tray of red rice?
Check.
Birthday cake?
Check.
1 case of water?
Check.
12-pack of beer?
Check.
2 cases of Pepsi?
Check.
When you have a long checklist but are short on time, we got you. Get it delivered by us. Order on the app or website at uno-go.com. Guam On Demand.
Shoot, I forgot the paper product.
Oh wait, UnoGo has that too.
Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink, brought to you each week by Cure Alkaline Water, airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM, on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the fields, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentations, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, and Bud Light Seltzer, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications. KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
But it's still 50% for the bars and the taverns. I don't know how many taverns do we have in Guam. What is a tavern?
Well, there was Mermaid's Tavern.
Right, but
there still is Vikings Tavern, but that's a completely different line of business.
But is a tavern just a bar that calls itself a tavern, or is there some differentiate like?
Wasn't Tower of London?
That's a pub.
That's a pub. No,
Right,
good point. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's 50%. God, I just hear the crying already from the bars. But I guess what they're saying is that once you start getting wild, it's easy to throw the rules out the window.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so we'll see. And also, I'm pretty sure it's because the bars had the nerve to sue the governor. How dare you? You guys are going to be stuck at 50% till next year.
You know what, though? Our friend, she's been on the show a couple times. Our friend Rhonda from Porky's.
Right.
She and Steve, the bar manager over there, they're putting on Facebook all the time, and they were like, hey, come down. We want you to have a good time, but please observe the rules because it's such a blessing for us to finally be back, and we want to stay back.
Right on.
And so they're really working hard to be compliant.
There you go. And so are a lot of the businesses.
Yeah.
Hey, it's 8:36. Burger King celebrating 32 years. Thanks to you. See, do this, Mossy. Where you can have it your way. Okay? We tried the Smokehouse King. Sourdough.
Yep, the sourdough
King.
I love sourdough.
Man, it was so good. Really good.
Are you a sourdough guy?
Yeah, man.
You ever
Look
made
at
sourdough?
me. Look at me, Jay. I'm an everything guy.
You ever made sourdough?
Not really, Tata. No, I never have.
Apparently, it's challenging.
I know somebody who makes really good sourdough. I think he's on Instagram as GU Bread Boy or something.
Oh, nice.
Check that out. 836. So, yeah, Burger King is awesome. They're celebrating 32 years. You don't get to be around 32 years on Guam if you're not bringing your A game. Okay? So go grab you a Whopper. They got I Love Whopper Wednesdays.
You know what I'm going to do for us for lunch today?
What are you going to do for us for lunch?
I'm going to treat us all to onion rings, and you, Sabrina, Joser, and I, we're each going to eat 32 onion rings.
Wow. Right on. Okay.
Which I want to say is maybe 2.5 larges, because, I mean, it's a nice, they're large onion rings. It's a nice size. I mean,
yeah.
Actually, 32, that may be all I eat for lunch, because...
I need to check my squatty later. How many squats do you got to do after you eat 32 onion rings? 836. So Burger King, proud to present Cover Me, and we're doing a replay, an encore of this great performance from
we
the
got
Blue Waves.
such amazing feedback from it, and people were like, please, can you play that again? Tell me where I can find it. It's on our local music mashup playlist on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KUAM News, but backed by popular demand. 4 amazing ladies from the Marianas, and as we've now known, people were even telling our backstory about this. They're throughout the CNMI and from the Western Pacific,
right?
And they all come together with one voice.
There you go.
And then they all have their solo spots too.
Yeah, it's called Blue. It's Blue Waves, the name of the group. It's Burger King's Cover Me. Good morning. Burger King's Cover Me. Good morning. We'll take a quick break, coming back with Hospital Administrator Lillian Posadas next on The Link.
Join us at the Islander Terrace every Friday. Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC. Join the Foundation for Public Education as they recognize some amazing teachers in our community and award one deserving person the title of Teacher of the Year. Watch the broadcast or live stream on the KUAM News Facebook page on Sunday, April 25th at 6:30 p.m. to meet the 6 finalists and learn about their exceptional work as educators. Plus special messages from Superintendent John Fernandez, sponsors, and the current Teacher of the Year, culminating in the live announcement of the 2021 Teacher of the Year. It's a special event you don't want to miss. The 2021 Teacher of the Year is presented by Bank of Guam, Cars Plus Guam, and the KUAM Care Force.
8:48. The Link. Good morning, KUAM TV. Proudly brought to you by East West Rental Carrier, Cabo Enterprises, ITD, and Jack in the Box. The Breakfast Burrito Challenge continues.
Yes, okay.
With our Link fam.
Yeah, you got me, Joe, sir? Okay, so we have another challenger because, of course, Chris started this whole thing by talking about we got to do a Breakfast Burrito Challenge. We put it out to everybody in the Link family. Megan and Tim Perez yesterday set it off. They're in Mong Mong, and they made their amazing bratwurst.
Yeah.
Breakfast burritos. Debbie Davis from Bardstown, Kentucky made hers, and she used her with chorizos and amazing tomatoes. Here is one from our very good friend, Bev Test J. Salas. And I'm going to show you guys the picture. And so they're using chicken primarily. They've got the Old El Paso tortillas. You guys ever had Old El Paso tortillas? Those are really, really good.
Yeah, they're very puffy.
Not as good as my grandma's titas, I got to say.
Of course, different.
And my grandma was always a flour person, right? But they got Philadelphia cream cheese, paste pecani sauce. I'm not familiar with this Crystal.
It's all right.
The Crystal hot sauce?
Yeah.
Okay, and then pepper jack cheese.
Wow.
That's what the side profile looks like.
Looks good.
Wow.
That's and of course they've got that Chinese plate.
I love the plate. I was going to
that
say.
everybody has had.
I
Really,
love
at
the
one
plate.
point.
Look at that. Ooh.
And that too. That's kind of like plating.
Zoom in on that, Jay. What is that?
Like, oh, whoops. That's just part of it. That's the chicken. So there's the cream cheese.
Day.
And then if you guys
a day, Link fam.
So there again, before, and look at that. There's the after.
Look at that.
Woo!
Well,
Philly cream cheese on top.
I guess we're having brunch in Chalampago this morning.
Mm-hmm. The plate sold me. I love that plate.
Yep. That's like United Nations. Chinese plate, Mexican Chamorro fusion breakfast burrito.
Thank you, Bev Test J. Solomon.
And Philadelphia.
Yeah. Breakfast burritos, everybody send us your pictures and we'll put them up.
Right
you
on.
guys are making us hungry.
I'm going to make mine this weekend.
Okay.
Okay, guys?
I was hoping maybe this week, which would be Friday, which would be tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. 8:50, Lillian Posadas, hospital administrator, joining us now in the KUAM News Zoom room. Hope we didn't make you too malago with our breakfast burritos, Lillian.
It's okay. I'm busy doing other stuff, but that sounds good.
It does.
Not
right?
good for the heart.
That's not that bad. That's why you eat it in the morning nice so you burn it off in the day.
Okay, good idea. All righty. Good
All
morning.
right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us, Lillian. I guess we'll just first start as we had seen there was a little bump in the number of, the number of, and it's interesting that we get like 4 or 5 positives. We're like, oh, it's a bump, right? But there was also a slight increase in hospitalizations, COVID-19 hospitalizations at GMH. So let's just start there. What's the situation with COVID-19 at the hospital?
Sure. A couple of days ago, it went up to 4. We are back down to 2. And so, we're hoping and praying that we continue to stay in this low trend. And so, and the good news again is that the individuals who come into the hospital are not at the level of being critically ill. So they don't need to be in the ICU level of care. So it's a good sign.
Have any of those patients who were hospitalized, had they received the vaccine at all?
No, they didn't. They weren't vaccinated when they came into the hospital.
Did they get vaccinated on their way out?
They will be. They will be vaccinated before discharge. That's been the protocol and the practice that upon discharge we offer the vaccination to the patients.
Do they take it, or just do some of them decline?
For the most part, those accept it and they take it. We've vaccinated a little over 100 as of last week. I haven't gotten the latest count this week, but as of last week, there was like about 107 individuals who, upon discharge, received the vaccination.
Which vaccines are you guys administering?
We were offering the J&J one-shot vaccination, and so now there is a pause on that one. So we'll most likely switch over to either the Moderna or the Pfizer.
How many outgoing patients did you vaccinate with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?
About 107.
Okay, also all of them. I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we were offering, is the one shot for the discharge patients. So we're going to switch over now to Moderna or Pfizer.
And then, so they're going to get the one shot on the way out, and then they get the second at maybe one of the clinics or something, or the Vax pod?
The first shot, right. They will have to be followed up for the second shot. Yes, correct.
Moderna or Pfizer?
Whatever is, again, depending on our allotment from public health, depending on Yeah.
Has anyone that got the Johnson & Johnson come back to the hospital?
We haven't seen that. Yeah, we haven't gotten any of that report that they have come back with some adverse effects or, issues with it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the new hospital. I know when we last spoke, it was kind of brief because of our time constraints. So the task force meeting was postponed. Did you guys ever meet since then?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We met Tuesday. The task force met Tuesday, and it was facilitated by Gita, because they've been in communication and meeting with the performance-based contractor, which is the Matrix Consultants. They are the ones who are, I guess, granted by the Office of Economic Adjustments to handle the grants that come out of that are approved by OEA. They're the recognized consultants by OEA. And so Gita has been meeting with the consultant group Matrix, and the meeting that we had on Tuesday was basically to then have a briefing and update on the various site locations that they've been assessing and looking over. And so that was presented to the task force.
Is there still 3 sites, or is there more than 3?
There were more than 3 sites that the team, Mel's team with Matrix, there were more than 3 sites that they presented, that they updated us.
Okay. Can we get
there were several sites.
Okay. Can we get a breakdown of those sites?
Sure. I mean, again, I don't have a copy. Let me see if I have it with me, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation. But the first that I remember is Atacao. That was about 102 acres. Then there's the Andy South, and I believe the South Finagalian, which we have talked about. Let me see if I can pull up the PowerPoint from Gita.
I know in the...
Go ahead.
In the Ancestral Lands Commission oversight, they were mentioning Nimitz Golf Course area.
The old Nimitz Golf Course, correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then this Oka Point here at the cliff line where the old hospital used to be, where the Chamorro Land Trust has oversight over. So that one I think has, I'm trying to remember whether it was 30 some acres or I think it was 35 acres was what I recall. Maybe I may not be all that correct in terms of the acreage, but what I remember was either 35 or 60 some acres for that Oka Point. So
do you have
per land? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Per land management, Joe Borham, factoring, because it's not just going to be the hospital, it's a campus that will have public health, behavioral health, and Guam Memorial Hospital, or a government hospital. And so all those 3 major facilities in one location, plus factoring in the need for parking space. Joe Borja was estimating that we need over 100 acres for the campus to then make sure we have those 3 major facilities and parking.
So
and possibly having some clinics, medical offices for the doctors.
So then that would kind of rule out Oka Point if there's only 35 acres there, right?
Right.
What about Eagles Field? Is that still on the table?
And are you concerned at all about some of these issues of original landowners that have been brought up recently?
That was not discussed at the meeting Tuesday, but Senator Teresa Falahi was present. She's part of the task force, and so I don't remember the issue with regards to original landowners and
because it's excess federal lands being returned to the government of Guam, and I think that they're supposed to offer it to the original landowners?
Again, it wasn't discussed at that meeting in the task force, but I know that the speaker had a hearing last week.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see what transpired, and I don't have any update on that one.
Any other property? This is pretty much it. All right.
Gosh, it was quite a bit. It was quite a list, and so like I said, I did not trying to pull up the PowerPoint presentation from Gita and trying to find it at the same time speaking with you, and so I'm not very good at doing two different.
That's okay. Maybe later we can get the list.
But do you have a preference, Lillian, as just like a hospital administrator? Which of these properties do you think is the most favorable, based on proximity to other hospitals and just, generally
land
speaking?
You need, yeah.
The land you need?
Well, as I mentioned before, again, I'm advocating for the whole island of Guam, particularly for the people of the South. And so the central location is where I would, is my desire, my preference. And so, it may not be the Eaglesville, but it is central. But there is another one that they were mentioning that at least is closer towards, for the people of the South. The South Inagajan is along the same route where GRMC, and again, it's very up north. And so, while it has a lot of acreage, my preference is, again, central Guam. And so, again, it's for the whole island of Guam, not just for, particular group of individuals. It's for the whole island that it will be beneficial for.
Do you then recall off the top of your head then any other central land or properties that you're looking at other than the one that you provided earlier?
Atacao, and I've yet to make my own, site, assessment there where it's at, but it's Atacao. Andy South was mentioned. I'm trying to remember where else.
That's central. I know you said the Nimitz Golf Course is the one you confirmed. Eagles Field, Oka Point.
Nimitz Golf Course, yeah.
Nimitz what? I'm sorry?
We're still getting more information on it on the various sites, but I think of the 10, I believe we narrowed it down to either 3 or 4.
What are the 3 or 4?
The Atacao, Andy South, Eagles Field, and I can't remember what the 4th one is. I think it was 3 or 4. So again, let me go back to the PowerPoint presentation. I can find that.
And these are the 3 to 4 that you kind of the task force said, okay, these are the ones we're gonna.
And the 4th one I think was the Oka Point. A couple of the members of the task force were still advocating for the old Oka Point.
Right. But do you know offhand who's on the task force?
It's a long list. The Gita team, that's Mel Mendiola, Joanne Camacho, Diego Mendiola, Tina Garcia. We've got from the office liaison, that's with the military, Vera Tapasnia. Guam, Dagura, Mr. Ray Tapasnia, and Mr. Sunny Perez. We've got some people in the private sector, Ruth Garasami from HSP, and we have Dr. Margaret Hattori, University of Guam School of Nursing, Mr. George Bamba, the senators, Speaker Teresa Chalahi was on the task force at last meeting, Senator Sabina Perez, Senator Tello Tidegre and Senator Chris Duenas were in the first meeting on the 24th of March, but I don't recall them attending this Tuesday's meeting. We've got, we invited Mr. Francis Santos, but unfortunately, I guess he had another scheduled meeting, so he wasn't present at this Tuesday's meeting. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. My memory is. trying to.
So during the last our last interview with you, you were mentioning that there was going to be this assessment, I think, that was going to be conducted of the properties that you guys were looking at. Is it just going to be of these 4, or are you going to have to narrow it down to 1 and then go in and do that site assessment or land assessment or whatever kind of assessment?
Eventually, we're going to need to narrow it down to 1. We need to concentrate which one it will be, so that a more in-depth analysis and assessment, and so that the consultants can come up with finish up their task orders and be prepared to have the budget proposal, the work plan to present to the governor to make the decision, I suppose. So, it's an ongoing, evolving process, and so yes, eventually we're going to need to narrow it down to 1, or the governor will make the decision as far as which location really is going to be the best location for the greater good of the island of Guam.
Right. And so we got that release from Vice Speaker Barnes' office regarding the, can't remember what it was called, the 21st Century Construction
Center of Excellence.
Yeah.
Center of Excellence. Right.
And that was based on discussions that she had with you, as well as Therese Areola.
St. Augustine.
Yeah, right. So if you could tell us a little bit more about this bill and what we're actually looking at, because initially I thought it was just going to be a hospital and central public health central facility, but now it sounds like it's going to be something a lot bigger.
Correct. And it's basically the same as what, this task force that is focused on. It's not just a hospital, it's a medical center. And it's a campus that will incorporate the 3 major health facilities, government health facilities. So we're working in tandem. This task force that we have put together, that the governor has put together, is working in tandem with this legislative bill that Senators Joe St. Augustine and Tina Barnes. They've crafted this legislation, this bill, and so it's working in tandem with each other.
Do you guys have any idea how much something like this is going to cost? Because the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers report was $743 million, right, just for the hospital. So now so now we're talking about adding on public health and adding on the Guam behavioral health. Yeah.
Right.
Is there any kind of dollar figure you guys are projecting on how much this is going to cost?
Not yet. We haven't gotten to that point. But we will. We're going to need to have an idea. And that's what this performance-based contract consultant is in the work plan that they're going to be, and the proposal budget is going to encompass all that cost.
But you guys don't have like some kind of preliminary figure you're looking at? But it's definitely going to be over the $743 million, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. We haven't got to that point yet.
Do you have any timelines?
Not yet. We haven't gotten a timeline, but the groundbreaking is October 2022. So we're going to need to have a timeline, definitely. And so the target to break the ground of the selected site, it's going to be October 2022. So we have to really be burning the midnight oil to keep the discussion and come up with finish up the task work that has been delineated and set forth in this OEA grant that was approved.
So you've got this major project that you're working on. You're on this task force. But I wanted to follow up on something the governor said in her State of the Island address, was that you're going to be also leading up reaccreditation for GMH, and that was also something that we talked about in the last interview. What update can you provide? Because you were mentioning how we might have to go with another accrediting body, right? Other than JCO. So where are we with that?
already conference calls, and we've had presentations from 3 accrediting organizations that our compliance administrator has reached out and has scheduled those discussions. The first one that we had a meeting with via Zoom is the accrediting organization called Center for Improvement in Healthcare Quality. Very impressive organization. They have, I believe, accredited 600 hospitals. And so I was really impressed with the presentation. The second one that we met with via Zoom is an organization that started out as a risk management company in the 1800s in Norway. It's called DNV, D as in daughter, N as in national, V as in Victor. It stands for Det Norske Veritas, because it originated again in Norway. We had a meeting with them last week. They are very global, and I can't remember how many hospitals and health facilities that they've accredited, but they are very global. I wasn't too impressed with that discussion. We asked what their fee, ballpark figure in terms of a fee, and they really couldn't give us an estimate. We had to apply first, and then they can then estimate what it would cost the hospital, for them to do an initial on-site survey. Just this week, we had a conference call with the Joint Commission, and it was a very good presentation, very good discussion. So we are getting more data, more information from these 3 organizations that then we can present to the Board of Trustees, and the Board of Trustees can then, decide which one would be the choice to get the hospital reaccredited or accredited. So yes, we're moving along with that one. Our compliance administrator is doing a really great job. Her and the A team, they're designing the roadmap as far as what all that we need to do to get to that end point of getting the hospital surveyed, and hopefully we meet the accreditation standards, and that we will then be accredited or reaccredited. It's going to take a lot of effort and a lot of education, a lot of training, a lot of engagement from everyone, including the doctors. And so we're putting it out there, putting the word out there. And so the excitement and the enthusiasm is picking up.
Do you guys have a timeline on which one you're going to go with, but make a final decision?
Not yet. We're still exploring. The first conference call that we had with the Center for Improvement in Healthcare Quality, I was quite impressed with that one. But comparing it to the Joint Commission, is really quite established, and they've accredited like about 40,000 hospitals and healthcare organizations. So they've established themselves very credible. And the cost that we had asked, it seems to be pretty reasonable. It was just unfortunate that I think the first time that the hospital went for accreditation with the Joint Commission, the fee that they charged was quite a steep fee. It was somewhere in the $40,000 to $60,000 it cost the hospital, and so that was a concern in terms of the cost. But when we had the meeting this week with the representative from the Joint Commission, it was quite reasonable what he had shared with us in terms of an estimate in cost. So we're still getting more information, and then we will present it to the Board of Trustees.
Who do we currently go with for accreditation? Is it Joint Commission?
It was the Joint Commission, and that was back in 2016 or earlier, and then we lost it in 2018.
Right. Lillian, can I just ask, because layman's terms, like, are any of these other accrediting groups, they're all like totally legit on the same level as the JCO? It's not like we're going to the B squad or anything?
They are. They've been deemed. They've been deemed by Medicare, to provide the deemed status, and so they're recognized by CMS.
Thank you.
Okay.
What about the run-of-the-mill stuff, visiting patients, all that kind of stuff? Where are we with that, the status at the hospital?
The visitation, yeah. We are allowing family members, one family member, to be with their loved one in the emergency room. So we're allowing that, whereas before we didn't allow, but now we are allowing one family member. We are allowing family member to be with their loved ones who are 75 years and older, or that, they are high risk for fall, or, they get disoriented. And so we want to make sure that a family member stays with that patient to ensure that, the patient is not confused, or that they won't be so anxious. So we're doing that for now. We're still really seriously thinking, and we're discussing it, how we're going to, open up the visitation. And so perhaps, because we still have COVID patients coming through ER and, being admitted. So we're still then exercising caution. But we are, on a case by case, we also, when families ask us, especially if the loved one is, near death. And so we're compassionate and we're sensitive to those.
Lillian, for those family members that you're allowing up into the facility, are there any eligibilities they have to meet? Like, do they have to be vaccinated, or do they just have to obviously wear the mask and all that stuff?
We're not requiring, we're not mandating vaccination. We're not testing the visitors either. They come with their ID so that, we can also keep track if in the event that there's someone who is COVID positive, and we can trace, we can do the tracing. So we're still registering the visitors.
Thank you, Lillian.
You're welcome.
Hey, when's GMH week? Do you guys got like a GMH week?
There's a National Hospital Week coming up the first week of May. I think it's May 6th through the 12th, or May 9th through the 12th. Because it's also in alignment with the National Nurses Week.
Wow.
So
we got to do it up, Lillian. We got to
do
it up.
Fiesta.
Hey, my dad was admitted to the hospital a couple times in years past when it was GMH week, and I've actually been there when they have GMH week. I mean, all the staffers are still focused on the mission, but their fiesta table is amazing.
Their fiesta table will put you right back in the hospital.
No,
no, because that's all the the regular stuff in the fiesta table.
We have to celebrate. We have to celebrate employees and show our appreciation for the hard work.
Sure do.
Right.
Amen, Lillian. Thank you so much, Lillian.
All right.
Always good to see you.
Thank you too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 9:16.
Yeah, I have a quick update, guys. This just into the Link Facebook Messenger account.
This just in.
Yeah. Okay, so one of the entries we had for our Link Breakfast Burrito entry sent by Bev Tess J. Salas earlier ago, on that wonderful Chinese plate. I said, thank you so much. And she goes, thank you, guys, Bev Tess. That wonderful meal was actually made by our 15-year-old son, Joaquin Salas, who was registered at the culinary courses at GCC and always excited for Thursdays to watch the GCC chefs come on the show and represent.
Wow. That is cool. What a small island.
Yeah. Also, I got another thing. It is a great day to be a gecko because the Lady Geckos won the girls volleyball title in straight sets over a very, very good Tejan Titans team.
They did.
The living legend, Bobby Kanata. You guys want to guess how many titles Bobby now has?
12.
14.
Wow.
And that's just
so
under
close.
her. GW is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
GW
Geckos. Hello, Geckos.
Yeah, GW and Academy. Like, it was always like head-to-head with GW and Academy. But this is Bobby's 14th title. So thank you much. Also, congratulations to Coach Rich Tamunda. The Sanchez Sharks took the third place game. And happy birthday to the one and only Andre Artero. Everybody knows. If you've ever seen this really big truck rolling down Guam streets with a personalized license plate, Kaduku, that's Big Andre. And he always sings at the 9:30 Mass at a cathedral. Nicest guy. Happy birthday, Dre.
Right
Happy
on.
birthday.
Happy birthday. Hey, the show is brought to you by East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, Carrier, IT&E, and Jack in the Box. Yes, Jack in the Box, where, hey, you like that fish, man? They still got that fish. For those of you who are Lent forever, or you just like fish, check out the fish sandwich at Jack in the Box. It's good. It's double. Man, sir, you were on leave. But we got the Jack in the Box fish sandwich.
I didn't even really see what was in it because Mike literally inhaled that thing.
Yeah,
It was a big sandwich.
It's 2 big fried panko breaded. It's fried fish. So good. 2 patties, and then they put some cheese on there with a good. It was good, man. It's deluxe fish sandwich combo. It's panko crusted wild caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet. Darn it. Sorry, my thing's messing up. Yeah, and you can get it at your local Jack in the Box. Where else are you going to get it?
And there is a second Jack in the Box coming, I think sometime later this year. Yeah. Have you seen that, Brie? Like at the old, in Tamuning, what used to be like where Pizza Hut was.
Yeah.
That's the construction site. So there's now going to be another one for our friends in the central villages.
That's going to be awesome. Hey, coming up, Jay, a little bit more about this interview that you're going to conduct.
Yes, so the our friends at the Hispanic Heritage Association of Guam, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this interview because there are so many parallels. I mean, Guam's history with, the arrival of the Spanish here, and obviously there's a lot of language and traditions and customs that we continue to practice that are derived of Spanish
like breakfast burritos.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. So they are doing their part to educate and share their culture with the rest of the island, as well as network and get a lot of people of Hispanic heritage together and celebrate. Of course, Cinco de Mayo is coming right up for our friends of Mexican descent.
Yeah. Okay.
And great Cinco de Mayo memory, and Sabrina knows this really well. When we were doing podcasts a couple of years ago, a former reporter of ours, Carmen Victoria Terlahi, is half Chamorro, half Mexican. Her mother's sweetest woman in the entire
That was
world.
the best Cinco de Mayo ever.
And she basically says, she goes, guys, I know we're going to talk about food, but my mom was saying she'd like to make and this is the phrase I stress, a little something for, the Cinco de Mayo one. We're like, all right.
Yeah.
So then she
a
came
little
over.
something. Yeah, that's fine. Just a little something small, man.
So Sabrina and I were in the newsroom, and then Carm comes over. She goes, "Hey guys, my mom's here, and she's brought something. Can you guys come out and help bring it in?" We're like, "Oh yeah, no problem."
Yeah.
We're like, "Oh, how are you? Good to see you, Mama." We gave her a kiss, a nice hug. We had to make
by
7.
The way, this is back when you could give people a kiss on the cheek and a hug.
We made 7 trips to the car. Sabrina, myself, Mike, who was here last week, and it was a spread unlike any other.
Dude, bro.
I mean, there was strawberry lemonade. There were
mole.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, there were fresh tamales.
It's funny how when you're young, Cinco de Mayo is about the drinking. Then when you get to you be up in our age, it's about the food.
You know what I've never celebrated is Dia de los Muertos.
Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Go watch Coco.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to take a quick break at 9:21. The link is back next.
Tacos and music, the perfect combination.
Family platter of fried chicken?
Check.
Tray of red rice?
Check.
Birthday cake?
Check.
1 case of water?
Check.
12-pack of beer?
Check.
2 cases of Pepsi?
Check.
When you have a long checklist but are short on time, we got you. Get it delivered by us. Order on the app or website at uno-go.com. Guam on demand.
Shoot, I forgot the paper product.
Oh wait, UnoGo has that too.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link.
Through the month of April, KUM News and the KUAM Care Force features Sustainability Matters, building awareness for environmental issues, highlighting activists, and showcasing businesses and individuals making a difference in our community. Watch a special series on Mondays on KUM News featuring different aspects of thinking green in our community. Awareness messages on every platform giving you tips for leading a more sustainable lifestyle. The Dirty Politics Weekly feature with The Link live on location with Chris and Sabrina visiting different villages with political leaders and addressing environmental problems in our community. And this year, the Think Green annual cleanup goes virtual. Organize your community cleanup, post and tag with hashtag ThinkGreenGuam, and we'll feature your cleanup on our multimedia platforms and in a special montage on KUM News Weekend Edition during the last weekend in April. Sustainability Matters, part of the KUAM Care Force's commitment to our community. in partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
It's Dirty Politics Weekly on The Link, live on location. Every week, Chris and Sabrina will interview different political leaders out in the field to address environmental problems in our community. See firsthand how illegal dumps, littering, and other issues are plaguing our beautiful island and what's being done to help. Part of our Sustainability Matters campaign for Earth Month, in partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
Living in this tropical island, such a beautiful feeling. While the sunset in your eyes and the tide is getting high, it's kind of windy. Walking on the sand and notice this beautiful lady. She's got dark brown hair and light brown eyes. I must be dreaming.
Hey, good morning, 926.
Feels like I know her, but I never met.
The new hospital should be central. That comment coming from James Ken Ariola.
And I'm seeing some people are asking on Twitter, so that means when we have a new hospital, are they going to run the current GMH and the new one in parallel, if even for a little bit, or is that going to be a complete replacement?
Or is it going to end up where we're going to have the ruins of GMH to look at for years, like with the old hospital?
The old hospital.
Remember?
Yeah.
Man,
Did you ever walk around there?
Jay, I'll tell you what, buddy. When I was here in 97, I had a talk show over at Isla, and I actually did, we would do broadcasts out in the field with the equipment. I mean, it's crazy because, like, that's a big deal now.
Yeah.
But he could also do it back then, but it required, like, so much, basically a whole van, right? And so
Now just bring your phone.
I did a talk show from inside DOC, which was way cool. I don't think they would allow it now, though, because of just all the rules and COVID, obviously. But I remember I did a show from inside DOC, and one of the inmates actually called the show during the show because I had the director on, Man, and I think at that time it was Batonga. Ed Batonga, the late Ed Batonga, had him on. And then this inmate ended up like calling out all the stuff that was going on at DOC during the show. But I also did one from the old hospital. And we did a promo on it. Remember, Jay? And I was like doing the moonwalk with my Zoris or something way back then. Yeah, this is way back. So.
Yeah, walking around and there are a lot of people who have tried walking around the old GMH as kind of like, in the middle of the night to like scare yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's haunted. Of course. Why would it not be haunted?
Well, also there
You know how many people died there?
And at the time there were a lot of like homeless people who would go there because like it was it was shelter, so you go there and you wind up startling them. But I mean, it did look like the inside of a horror movie because some of the file cabinets are open.
Yeah.
You see like the ceiling
cables
fixtures,
coming down.
coming down and everything like that.
Yep.
That'll spook you.
Also this morning, broke on the show here the passing of the former speaker Joe T. St. Augustine. So again, our condolences from the Link fam going out, especially to Senator Joe.
Yes.
St. Augustine, current senator, who, that's his dad, right? And what a legacy.
I remember him. He was such an avid fighter for the Guam retirees. He was a chairperson at one time for the retirement Guam Retirement Fund.
Right.
And also he did some, we worked with him one election year he represented the Democrats, and then a former senator also, right, Al Israel.
Mm-hmm.
He would represent the Republicans, and we did we called them vlogs, video blogs, and so they would come in once a week and record their vlogs for us, and we'd air it during our election program.
Joe T was always one of the best dressed Guamanians.
Yeah, he definitely had that 80s, 90s style.
You could go. You could go to a public hearing. You could go to church. I mean, he was always very presentable.
And he's definitely one of those because when I was young watching him, but he was one of those figures, right? You had Speaker Joe T. You had former Governor Gutierrez, who was Ways and Means. Then you had your Don Parkinson. You had your Mike. It was just a different time, right? Because there were 21 senators back then.
I think Mike Reedy was they served together.
Right.
And,
also,
he also had passed.
He had passed away. There's a lot of this sounds so, but there's a lot of people passing in politics this year. Yeah. So it just kind of took me back to that whole era of really what I felt like was almost in some ways a heyday where people really believed in the politicians. Nowadays, there's just so much apathy, and everybody just starts out baseline. Everyone's a liar. I mean, that's our take in politics. You're all liars.
No, these were pillars of our community. If you saw
them, and not just that, Jay, they're responsible for so many of the things that we currently take for granted.
Yeah.
And enjoy today, and might not even know about. Bree talking about the retirement. I mean, how many of our Manomco are on that good retirement, right? Anyway,
if you saw them out at a store, it was a big deal, and they would come and shake your hand. If they spoke at your school and everything, you could go home.
He was so nice.
Always took time to say hi and go over and honor him, and good guy. Our condolences. Thursday, April 15th, 2021. The Link brought to you by East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, Carrier, IT&E, and Jack in the Box. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a fan favorite, starring Jason Solis.
Does your agent give you residuals every time you do this? There's got to be some monetary benefit for you.
For the ladies in the audience, Jason Solis.
And our viewer count just went to zero. Well, fortunately, we are talking about a very, very wonderful event and an organization that is doing amazing things for a very strong and very proud part of our community. We as Guamanians, Chamorros, people of Guam heritage, we have so many cultural parallels with people of Hispanic heritage. And so we welcome very happily into the KUM News Zoom room, the Hispanic Heritage Association of Guam. They have a outreach campaign going on. There's a Spanish Mass coming up. So we go to the Anderson Office of Public Affairs, as I understand it, where we have good morning and half a day.
Good morning. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, very, very good to see you. We're so pleased and proud to have you on the show. Thank you for what you do for our island community, for networking and for sharing Hispanic culture with us every year. Like I just said, I mean, there's so many ways that that what has become Chamorro culture and the way it's changed and evolved over the years. We're still aware of the roots in Spanish culture because of our history and when the Spanish came over here. So I mean, there is that sense of reverence for family, for a strong belief in faith, our reverence for the elderly. Educating the children and everything like that. So, I mean, certainly you could talk about it way better than I can. So if you can, just introduce yourselves, please, and talk about, like what you are doing with the Hispanic Heritage Association.
Okay, my name is Mari Flor. I am originally from Puerto Rico, and I am a member of the Hispanic Heritage Association of Guam. As an association, we promote and we try to educate people and ourselves as well about Hispanic heritage here in Guam and in other countries. Since we are minority population, but we also need to be aware that here on island and on base, we have different people and members that represent other countries such as Mexico, Peru, Puerto Rico, and other Hispanic countries. And I'm just gonna let Master Sergeant.
So good morning, Master Sergeant Domenico Ree. I'm the current president of the Hispanic Heritage Association. We are a private organization that we are not part of the DoD. We are mostly military members and dependents from Anderson Air Force Base. However, we do have outreach to all of the other military communities on the island, as well as off-base members. We do run a Facebook page. You can find us at Hispanic Heritage of Guam. We do have members that are here in Guam currently and people that are off island. And we even have people from Spain that have reached to us because they're curious about how is Guam and what is the relation between Guam and the Spanish. We have over 300 years of Spanish history. Little background about myself, I was born and raised in South America. My parents are Korean, but I was born in Brazil, but I was raised in Argentina. So my first language was Spanish. So I have a vast, years of speaking Spanish. That's my first language. One of the things that we want to do as an organization is make sure that we educate others about the Hispanic culture. And also we want to promote the cultural diversity. Not every country that speaks Spanish has the same culture. We are very diverse. So we want to kind of bring them all together and just kind of learn from each other, learn from our past, and kind of move forward and bring them all together as one.
Outstanding. So Sarge, first of all, we thank you for your service for our nation and our island. We truly do appreciate what you do and your training and your sacrifice and your dedication. So let's talk about as you said, you're looking to educate, to promote the culture of Spanish-speaking countries, but also to network with other people on Guam who may be from countries and maybe from Hispanic heritage and everything. How many members do you have right now?
It's kind of hard to tell how many members we have because mainly we are here at Anderson, so we have people coming and going, with the moves. I'll say there's about 50, 60 families that are pretty much active with us. We do have a lot of members that are not so much active members, but they follow our Facebook page. We do put events out there. And of course, last year due to COVID, we haven't been able to do any events. But previously, we had done some picnics, some Easter egg hunts. And right now, as you had mentioned earlier, we were able to provide a venue so that we could have a mass in Spanish, which is something that a lot of our members have been requesting for a long time. Mm-hmm. It's a mass in Spanish.
Because it's such a wonderful thing, because of again, like the way our culture has so many similarities to that of Spain is the wonderful opportunity to come together and to fellowship and to socialize together and to not only eat a meal but to prepare a meal and then to pray together and then to even do things that a lot of people that aren't from this part of the world, they maybe take for granted like what a joy it is to clean up together after you've made after you've had like a wonderful meal and just helped out with the kids and everything. So how can people participate in this Spanish Mass if they would like to attend and they would like to be part of the Mass?
We are trying to reach the community in general. We're trying to go off base more often. We're willing to do meetings and do activities off base so people can join us and they can learn with us. We can get together, we can meet each other. We also have a Facebook group page, and they're more than welcome to join us. We are also organizing other activities that would involve community in general. We are having the Spanish Mass. We're having another event coming up in April, which will be a cooking demo. It'll be here on base. But as I was saying, we're willing and we cannot wait to start doing events of base to get the community together. Our main event, it's mainly in September. And that's where we all get together. We all share about our different countries, our diversity, our cultural facts, our food. For me, the food is super important.
Yes, absolutely.
Because when it comes to food, you can tell we have a lot of things in common. We have spicy food in common. We have rice, the famous red rice as well. And yes, our main event will be in September, and we're just trying to get ready for that main event and that big event so we can have enough people and enough community to keep doing these amazing events. We also had a story time in Spanish story time. It was mainly for children, but we were able to do it, and it was very, very successful, and we can also do it off base. We just need to reach to more people and to find Hispanic people and population around the island. I was surprised because I got to meet a lady from Venezuela, and she currently lives here in Guam. And for me, it was a surprise because she was asking to reach, and she was wondering if there was more people from Venezuela here living on island. And I was like, interesting. But yes.
Well, of course, and one thing about people of Hispanic heritage is there's always a sense of, like taking care of each other and having this community service. And although the last year, maybe even 14 months has been so awkward for so many of us in so many different ways of life, Sarge, I'm sure you would agree, as a service member and everything like that, community service is in your DNA already. So, what plans do you have for the organization to do things like more different types of outreach or, to work with the community locally?
Yeah, so once a lot of the social distancing and a lot of the restrictions are kind of lifted, we do plan to do a couple of events. Summertime is coming up, so everybody wants to do some kind of picnic, and it would be nice to bring the local community. We do have a lot of Hispanics here on Guam, whether it be contractors or people that just settle out here. I remember taking a cab one time, and the driver was from Puerto Rico, and he has settled here many years ago. He was a retired Navy, and he would tell me like, yeah, we wish we would have more Hispanic food out here. Being out in the Pacific is very difficult. So for us in the service, we always have small events to bring the local Hispanic community, and a lot of people want to learn about their heritage. So maybe their parents or their grandparents were from a Hispanic country, and then they're trying to learn that. They're trying to get to know that. So we've been starting to do some events on base. Of course, with the restrictions, we couldn't. So we've been mostly doing them virtually. But we are very, very looking forward to do events off base. We have been approached by a couple of organizations off base, and even from Spain, telling us that, hey, if we need any help, we're here for you. We'll do some webinars or any of the events. So we're open to suggestions. The big part that we do want is so when we do pull the events, just participation. We are a small group of volunteers, but volunteer force is always needed. to make an event successful.
Well, Sarge, you've got friends at KUM, and we've got your back. Anything we can do to help get the word out, or help get you in touch with people, like it's what we do, and we're happy to do it because we organizations like yours mean so very much to ours and to the community. Because I wanted to say one thing that we haven't touched on that is such a huge part of Hispanic culture is song and dance, and that's almost been regardless of which culture your lineage is in. We haven't been able to do it in the way that we normally would like to. And that's why we're telling people, please go out and get vaccinated. Let's continue to make our planet, our global family, continue to get better. And hopefully we can get back to a point when we have events when we can gather together and then dance and play music and sing together and everything like that. We'd really love to get back to that way of life.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're a radio station and we play music, but I mean, I would love to be able to, to go to a concert or to go to a fiesta and just be able to, just sing and dance again. I long for those days. Are you guys doing anything to maybe advocate for your members and like encourage vaccination and just tell your members, please do what's right and please be safe, or at least, pass on the information to them?
Well, we haven't done so yet, but we are probably looking into some kind of information. A lot of times, us being in the military, we do get information, but I'm sure the local community probably doesn't get it. So we'll probably work on touching bases with some of the agencies and see if there's any material in Spanish. Probably we do have a lot of dependents that are their primary language is Spanish.
Right.
So we're probably gonna try to see if we can work some cooperation.
Mm-hmm. Have you networked with any other groups that happen to not maybe speak Spanish? Because we were saying earlier in the show that there are several groups, at least that we know of, up at Anderson and maybe down at Big Navy, that people of African American descent or even people of Jewish descent, or there are Hebrew groups and people of different culture groups, and they have networked among themselves. And I know that they've said they've wanted to fellowship with like other groups and to exchange cultural to differences and to learn and to just make new friends.
Yeah, so we haven't been able to, of course, due to the whole pandemic, but there are plans. We're always open for anybody, pretty much, if they're interested in learning the culture and sharing culture. So we're always open. We always have our doors open.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mariflor, I'd like to give you the final word because, again, just talking about the Spanish Mass that's coming out and the outreach that you're doing to make sure that we can make that a reality. It's going to be such a wonderful event because whenever you say the word that there's Mass coming up, tell any self-respecting Guamanian and they're immediately going to get dressed up and they're going to say, all right, I'm there. I've got my donation. I'm ready to pray. I've got my rosary beads and everything. I am there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what can people do if we would like to help out or we'd like more information?
Right now, the only medium that we have, it is our Facebook page. You can message the page. We do have email address, which is hispanicheritage.guam@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or just look us up on Facebook. It's Hispanic Heritage Association of Guam.
Okay, so Mariflor, anything that you'd like to pass on to the community? Anybody watching this right now, or any shout-outs you'd like to give to anybody watching this?
Yes, if you're assisting, just make sure you follow the COVID regulations and wearing a mask, social distance in the church. And Father Alberto is super excited for the Spanish Mass. He was the one who did the service in Spanish when El Cano ship came.
Mm-hmm.
And for that big event. And he's super excited and he cannot wait to do the service in Spanish.
Yeah, that was a lovely Mass. I remember we covered that and it was very, very moving. So okay, so Mariflor Rodriguez and Master Sergeant Dime Ree of the Hispanic Heritage Association of Guam, thank you so much for what you do. I know your members appreciate it. It's a family organization. We're happy to have you here as part of our family on Guam. We hope we've been hospitable hosts to you out here, and we just thank you for your time and everything you're doing. You're part of the reason that makes what makes Guam such a wonderful community to live in. And anything we can do to help get the word out, as I said, about your organization or any of the events you have, we're happy to help.
Especially if it means we're going to get free food. Free Hispanic food. Wow. Thank you, Mayor Flor. Thank you, President.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you guys.
All right, thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.
That's it. That's it. They just bring me in, and I just say, okay, guys, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, good people doing good things,
Right
for good reasons. I mean, you do something, you honor the generation that came before you. You continue to practice their traditions. Your grandparents are looking down on you, smiling right now. You're like, hey, you're doing good.
Hey, all right. You did all right. 9:49. This just in. From the Guam Community College culinary program. Our lunch was actually dropped by Shirley from GCC. It was an interesting story.
She never wants to come in, right? Because I told her last week, I was like, come on in.
So she came in today, and then because she's wearing her GCC shirt, so I said, oh, are you with the culinary program? And she's like, no, she works like in the admin. But she was actually an adult high school graduate, and I spoke at their graduation ceremony. I want to say it was like last year or the year before. We posted it on KUAM. But she ended up getting hired at GCC after receiving her adult high school diploma on March 16th, like the day the pandemic started.
Wow.
Yeah, and so she's been working since then, also taking some like science classes, and so it was just good to kind of catch up and see what other, I'm always curious what people did during this pandemic. So that's really cool. GCC Culinary Indonesian. You like that Indo? You like that Indo? You like that Indo, Bree?
Well, and of course, remember, as Baptiste J. Salas told us, their son, Joaquin Salas, 15 years old, he is enrolled in the GCC Culinary Academy. And Thursdays are a big hoot for those young chefs because they get to put their skills to the test. Oh, man, I wish you guys could smell what we are right now.
It smells so good. That combination of the spices, right?
There is so much curry in here.
Can you see it? Is it up?
I can't see it yet, yeah.
So it's the lunch menu for today.
Oh, there you go.
There is so much curry in here. You think it was a Golden State Warriors game.
Spicy curry meatballs, garlic ginger chicken, roasted sweet potatoes, Indonesian slaw, garlic pita bread. And then the dessert is the ube crepes with chocolate and peanut butter filling.
I'm sorry, sir. I dropped the damn crepe. I dropped the crepe. That's why the whipped cream came off.
I have never seen an ube crepe.
Me neither.
I've seen ube in
until today.
Yep, that's right. Thank you, GCC.
Okay, so you dropped that and everything. But I mean that still is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I dropped that. It's yours.
With chocolate and peanut butter filling.
Yeah.
So that's lunch.
Yep, that is lunch.
Remember, that's $10.
$10.
Okay.
Joe, can you just turn it? Can I just see it, bro? Oh, never mind.
So the takeout is 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
So if we at about 12:30, that means we eat until 1, take a really long siesta until about 3:30, and then we head back down to GCC because, of course, it's in the kitchen for dinner.
Mm-hmm. So the dinner menu is coconut rice, pork satay. Satay, chili baked fish.
Oh, yeah.
Indonesian style corn.
Oh.
Spinach coconut.
Oh, man.
And then the dessert is pandan cake.
Oh, yeah, green coconut. Right. Look at that.
Yeah, so what you're looking at now is the lunch. Again, that's the spicy
And Mama Bear's comment is mouth drooling and then 9 drooling emoji.
I just got to say, anytime there's a scoop of rice in it, winner.
The curry on the meatball, guys. I mean, I'm about 5 feet away right now, socially distant, but my brain is already, like, in that meatball.
Your brain's in the meatball.
My brain's in the meatball.
Okay, good. 9:52. Quick break.
I've got to get some of that meatball.
We're going to come back and close out the show next, right here on The Link. Good morning.
Uno Go has arrived.
Catch Sports Link on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. Sports Link, brought to you each week by Pure Alkaline Water, airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM, on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. Sports Link is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the fields, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
Family platter of fried chicken? Check. Tray of red rice? Check. Birthday cake? Check. 1 case of water? Check. 12-pack of beer? Check. 2 cases of Pepsi?
Check. When you have a long checklist but are short on time, we got you. Get it delivered by us. Order on the app or website at uno-go.com. Guam on demand.
Shoot, I forgot the paper product.
Oh wait, Uno Go has that too.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time each Friday to talk food, taste food, and bring you all the latest and greatest in food from King's Restaurants and Ruby Tuesday Guam, old faves, new hits, and everything on the menu in between. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link.
We checking out all the clubs. See the pretty ladies on the street, yeah. So pretty you fall in love. Island girls everywhere you go. Gotta give shouts out to our local girls. A little island out in the sea. Short drives everywhere. That's fine with me. The local boys are cruising it, we checking out the scene. Gotta find the women, where can they be? 'Cause I say Love for our island is what we do.
That's what we do.
Lovely women.
That is what we do. Love for our island. That's what we do. It's not hard to love your island, guys. Stop dumping. Would you dump on your significant other's forehead? No, you wouldn't. So don't dump on us. Speaking of dumping, we're doing another Dirty Politics next week, and we'll do that every week in Earth Month.
And next week we are going to 1,000 steps.
Yep, 1,000 litters.
Yeah.
1,000 tires. They should rename it 1,000 dumpings.
I mean, it makes you wonder too. It's not like throwing a sandwich wrapper or
a cigarette butt
a straw that far in the jungle.
Yeah.
Somebody had to put in a lot of work to throw away tires that far in.
Yep. Yeah. And if you work that hard, you might as well go to the dump.
Straight through a neighborhood.
Yeah. Right.
Down the bumpy
You would actually do
road.
less work to go to the dump.
Yeah. People on that street step it up. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but it's a one way in, one way out, right? And so just be on the lookout. If you see guys going in there with like a pickup load of stuff and they're driving past all the houses, the only thing at the end of that road is 1,000 Steps Park. So just be vigilant. Video them, if anything, right? Get their license plate. I mean, don't go and like try and be Batman unless you can do it successfully. That would be awesome. If I caught someone, I wish I could like take the tires. You ever watch the cartoons when they take the tires and they like put them over the person one by one and then they're stuck in the hole of the tires? That's what I want to do.
I also wish I could do the cartoon
And then
thing,
roll
like
their
when
ass down 1,000 steps. Be like, there! Huh! That's what your island thinks of you.
I also wish I could do the cartoon thing like when you eat fish, you just have like the whole fish and you pull it out and it's like
The bones?
The bones.
Yeah. That's probably why you don't eat fish with bones.
Yeah.
My kids used to crack me up. They used to tell me stuff like, I don't want to eat any fish with faces.
That's quite a lot.
You're missing the eyes. That's the best part.
So basically your kids only eat flounder?
No, they only wanted to eat like filet. You know, if they saw a whole parrotfish, they'd be like, oh, of course, now it's a different story that they're older. Guys, your go-to jam is coming up here on The Breeze on the radio side. To our viewers on KUAM TV, thank you so much for jamming with us today. As always, it's a pleasure to be part of this Link Familia. So East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises, Carrier, IT&E, and Jack in the Box proudly present this 4-hour multimedia extravaganza that is The Link. Viewers on KUAM TV, my name is Chris.
I'm Sabrina.
Esta. Adios!
Bye.
Happy Thursday!